Boy, let's see. All right, that's working. Let me grab this, copy. All right, let me see. All right, we are vertical, man. What is cracking, everybody? Happy Monday. Paste. Let me put my link up. $2 TTS. $2 media. All right, and then we can do that via that way, or super chats available, man. All right, I think that should be good, but I can't pin it because I'm in the wrong account. Okay, we're there. Chad, what up? Happy Monday. All right, there it is. Bang. And now, can I pin? Pin. Ba-bam. All right, what is good, man? What is good? Shout out to Jay Rio for being first. Man, YouTube do not like that Higa word, bro. I literally got to approve that every single time now, bro. Every single time. Let me see. Okay, salutes. Let me see, hold on. Shout out to JCZAYA. You know, Hood Hunted. You know, you're another one I got to approve. Yeah, YouTube don't like that Higa, man. Shout out to Kitty Mom. What up? Pebby's blowing kisses off in the distance. What's goody, Pebby's? Pebby's feeling a little bit under the weather. All right, get it together, sister, because I'm trying to come watch something real quick, man. Well, not real quick, but I'm trying to come watch something. I've already finished with the work that I had to do in the office. I got some new pieces in today. All right, so be sure to check the whatnot. Okay, you know, definitely down to take offers. Hold on, sorry. Let me drop my whatnot link, man. I already posted everything up in there. I think the highest I've ever got on whatnot listing items was around like what, 225. We're back down to 197. Yo, stuff been selling. So salute to everybody that has made a purchase. I truly appreciate y'all, man. Okay. Drop the whatnot link, man. Okay. Check out the whatnot. All right, bang, and then let me just copy and paste that because I'm sure I have to repost that a couple times. But all right, there's the whatnot site. Man, what else? Let me see what else is going on. Salutes to the folks in the chat. Okay, 01 Nemesis, salutes. My boy Smokey, man. Salutes to you. Smokey, I think Jonathan threw you that T. So if you're interested, let me know. If not, no big deal. I just need to know what size. I believe I have a medium and a large. And then obviously, you got to shoot me an address. I believe Smokey has won stuff in the past, but like I've always explained, like once I do the transaction with you, I don't keep like addresses or information, anything. I just delete it. So, you'd have to shoot me the address wherever you need it to be sent. All right. Loud. I appreciate you sending some watermelon. Okay. Salutes, man. Although I would have preferred some chicken. All right. Shout out to Big Money Sonny up in this John. I believe my first member. What's cracking, my brother? Hopefully all is well on your side. Today was a beautiful Monday. If you see the title, once again, doing what I do, I handed a motherfucking L to a hater. It feels great. It feels great. Okay? It feels great. I hope that hater, is so bothered that he then begins to hate me and just hates me forever. Salutes, man. As much as I appreciate the love, man, I don't mind a nigga hating me. I do not mind, nigga. Let me tell you, I don't mind. I don't mind when a nigga hates me, man. Hate, nigga. Okay? Hate me. All right? Salutes. Just don't bet against me, nigga. Because, again, I'm not going to say I win them all, but I definitely follow through, which is something that, a lot of niggas lack. So I'm going to follow through, my nigga. You feel me? It's not just going to end with you thinking that you're going to do me dirty. No, I'm going to follow through. And then I'm going to dish it back to you, and I hope that you keep the same energy, if not, then, suck a dick, man. Respectfully, of course, yeah. YouTube ain't feeling the higga out here, man. When y'all write it, I always got to approve it. So if y'all see other higgas type in and stuff like that, then, it's because I haven't gotten around to approving the message, man. As much as I would love a soda right now, I definitely already had a Polar Pop, so I need to drink some water. All right. Okay. Shout out to Smokey. I see you on the large. I see the DM. Oh, no, I think I just see a message. Just make sure you DM me with the address, the name and the address where I got to send it. And I'll make sure it goes out tomorrow. And then shout out to Chicken Cakes. Chungy won a shirt. He dissed it to Chicken Cakes. I'm going to get her shirt out tomorrow. And then so the sneaker that I sold today is actually the one in question that, has me feeling so good. Okay. Let me see. Do I have the messages? Okay, there it is. There it is. Bang. All right. Salutes, man. Salutes. So, for the last couple of years, I've been getting my resale on, selling a lot of personal sneakers, selling a lot of, just sneakers in general, clothes, all types of stuff, man. Listen, I've been a reseller for a long time. We're talking about, I want to say I've got to be at least, the very least, reselling for at least 20 years. Okay? Buying something for the low. The term is buy it for the low, sell it for the high. I'm a higga that, I buy it for the low. I price it where I think that it belongs. But at the same time, I am a negotiator. I'm down to take offers, stuff like that. I'm down to talk. And, if we do not come to a conclusion, we do not have to be enemies. As long as you don't disrespect me, I'll never disrespect you. The problem is that a lot of people be disrespecting. And then the thing is that's the game I like to play. I like when a nigga disrespect me because it gives me the excuse to fucking go all out disrespecting you. That's the thing, you could disrespect me a little bit. I'm always going to make sure that I do it to the other person way more than they did it to me. That is just my MO. That's who I am. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to be somebody different. If you disrespect me, nigga, I'm going to take it to another level, and then, you're going to be left saying, but Zaya doing too much. You shouldn't have done at all because we don't have to disrespect each other. Okay. So, I've been doing, I'd like to say that I'm successful at my resell Don't get me wrong. I look at other resellers and, I see them, move product faster. I wish that I could, move the product faster than the way that I move it. But, I am content with the fact that, eventually all pieces sell. Okay. So, if you know me, you know me, as long as you've known me, I've always, offered something, at the same time, like, salutes to the, like donations and stuff like that, because that's always appreciated. All right. But, I've always been content with trying to sell someone a product, and a product not, like, I don't consider myself like Shaq. Shout out to Shaq, right? Shaq does commercials for a fucking, what's that fucking little ass car? A Prius. Not saying that he does. I'm saying you'll see a Shaq doing a commercial for a Prius, and you'll be like, what the fuck? Like, first thing I say is that, like, my nigga, like, the only reason you did that ad is because they paid you to do it. I'm much more of a, like, I like to flip things that I see quality in. I like to flip things that I think is dope, and hopefully other people, see the dopeness in it and buy, right? I've been more like that. That's why you've never seen me do like major promos, there's been multiple times where, there have been companies that have offered me, can you promo this product and, we'll pay you. And the first thing I do is I look at the product and I say, but, I don't even use that product. So, like, why the fuck would I promote this if I don't even use it? Matter of fact, it's a product that was dished to me early. And I totally turned it down then. And I turned it down today. And I would turn it down anytime in the future because it's just not a product that I wear. Sneaker shields. That little, it's that little piece that you put in the sneaker to keep it from creasing. The thing is that, like, when you look at niggas that wear sneaker shields, they look like they're robots, the way they're walking around. And I'm like, bro, that's stupid. Like, the sneaker's supposed to crease, and if you are like so hell bent on, man, I gotta try not to crease the sneaker. Like, come on, Papa's like, just the way that your foot is designed, bro, it's supposed to crease right there in the front. It's supposed to, it's similar to, well, I don't know why I thought of this. I think it's similar. Some others may not agree, but it's similar to like when I go get a haircut, versus some other people that get a haircut, right? Like, I got like little spots in the back of my head where maybe as a kid I busted my ass and maybe hair don't grow there. I feel like everybody has that. Like, well, not everybody, but if you were active, a young man, you might have busted your head a couple times and you might have something like on the back of your head where if they go too low, it looks almost like they nicked you, but it's just that the hair doesn't grow there, right? I got a couple of those joints in the back of the head. And, I'm not the type of person to be like, yo, can you cut my hair to the point where, you can't see it? No. To me, it brings character, So, bringing it back to sneakers, sneakers crease in the front. So, like, you're trying so hard not to crease the sneaker. You look like a and I mean this with all due respect. I'm just saying me looking. I'm not saying that you are. I'm just saying that me looking, I'm like, boy, you look crazy. You look like a robot, nigga. Like, you're trying to walk flat-footed. Like, and that's just not how your foot works. So, Sneaker Shields was a product that was dished to me. Boy, this is like, I've been on YouTube since 2009. I want to say that Sneaker Shield shit came along at least by like 2015, and Sneaker Shields is I say Sneaker Shields because that's the name that I recall. But, there's definitely other companies that try to sell you that little plastic piece that you got to wear in the front of your sneaker. And, that's just something that's just always going to get turned down, bro. Like, they can't give me no amount of money to promote. Well, let me, if they was like throwing me like millions of dollars, I might be telling y'all, hey, but I would tell y'all, you know what I mean? I'd be like, Sneaker Shields is not really my thing, but they threw your boy a bag. But, Lee, I like to promote things that, I like. I like to promote things that I would wear. So, as far as like reselling, I feel like it's been a good journey reselling, I'm not making buku dollars. But, you know, it's enough to satisfy. And the best part about it is that, you know, when you are a reseller, it always allows you to keep something. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if you buy 5 and you flip 4 and you make profit on all of them, then the one that's left over is paid for. And a lot of times, you know, I get to keep it. Now, the effed up part about that is that, you know, like, as much as I'm a sneaker collector, I'm also a t-shirt collector, you know, and I find myself buying t-shirts that I never even get to wear. You know, eventually I end up selling it or something like that. But, you know, regardless of the fact, you know, reselling has always been a great thing. You know, it's an up and down type of market, you know, like it's not it's not like a job, you know, like a job where you guaranteed a paycheck, but like, you know, it's definitely a decent little hustle, you know. So, you know, one of the items that I picked up was at HS3. All right. For the folks that know what HS means, HS3, I remember that I had gotten word to check, a local store, because a specific sneaker was popping up at the store. The catch, they were size 17 and 18. Jordans, okay? Jordans. At one point in time, I bought 3 sneakers. I bought 2 size 18 white cement 3s. And I bought 1 size 17 wolf gray 6. I copped them. They've literally sat for the entire time, okay? I've lowered the price a couple of times. You know, they sat. Then recently, and well, let me continue my story, but shout out to Topps World, right? There was a moment in time where, you know, the things that I was flipping, it was moving kind of slow. And Topps World's suggestion was to jump on eBay. Now, I years ago was on eBay, and then I'm one of them higgers that, like, if I have like a bad transaction that leaves like a bad taste in my mouth, nigga, I'll say fuck this platform and I'll take all my shit down. I don't care, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like that. So I definitely did eBay at one point in time, and then, you know, I think I gave eBay the middle finger. I dipped off, and then you know, years later, you know, Topps World is like, yo, you should fuck with eBay. And I said, well, you know, I used to fuck with eBay before, but, you know, I guess I'll give it another shot. And, you know, I've got to say that, you know, I'm glad that I'm an open-minded person. Okay. Years had passed. I'm not necessarily a person that holds a grudge, you know, maybe in the moment, but like, you know, as time goes on, you know, time heals all wounds, right? So like, you know, I said, okay, well, you know, it's been a while since I've been on eBay. I'm going to jump on eBay. You know, I'm going to give it a shot. And I spent a majority part of HS3 listing items on eBay. I think I currently have like 200 plus items on eBay, right? So, you know, eBay's cool. You know, like stuff he's selling on eBay. You know, again, you know, I've always looked at reselling as like you know, it's like one of those hustles that when it produces, it produces. But, you know, it's just as good as a part-time job, right? I don't want to sit here and encourage people to resell because, you know, again, it's not for everybody. Sometimes it takes time. To me, that, you know, I don't, you know, I think that's good. You know, something that I'm just like, am I good? Do y'all hear me? What's going on, man? Is this shit good? Is it fucking up? Are we good? Y'all hear me? I got, what I got in here? 54 people. Are we good, chat? Can I get a thumbs up? Do y'all hear me? Do y'all see it fucking up? Like, I really just came out here to smoke real quick. Like, I really could just be upstairs in the office. Okay. All right. Shout out to Cardi. It's been selling, you know, not as fast as I'd like it to, you know, don't get me wrong. I wish the shit was flying off the shelf. It's glitching. It's choppy. It's lagging. Jesus Christ. Let me see if I could just kind of like move closer over here. Maybe. All right, I already know everything's gonna fall. So before I do that and then piss myself off, right? Sometimes you gotta realize you're about to piss yourself off. Don't do it that way. All right, let me see if maybe moving a little closer inward helps out a little bit. All right. All right. Okay, let's see how long this lasts right here. Okay, I can't guarantee nothing though. All right. So, where'd I leave off at, man? Again, shout out to Tops for, throwing it out there. I ain't gonna say that he could put me onto eBay, but like at the moment when he said, yo, you should really try eBay. I've been moving stuff on eBay. It went in one ear and it did not come out the other. It's, I told myself, yo, you ain't got nothing to lose. Another platform to sell products on, get rid of products, fuck it. And I spent, a lot of time in HS3 dedicating, specific days, usually my slow days, which is like, Tuesday, Wednesday. Tuesday's the slowest day on YouTube. I ain't gonna hold you. Don't even look for me on Tuesdays. I'm not getting up on here on Tuesdays. Monday is sort of like you're coming out the weekend. So Monday you might have like a little leverage. Wednesday is iffy. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is like the main days that I feel like that's when people are around to, be part of content and stuff like that. But Tuesday is like the worst day. So Tuesdays are days that I dedicate to just posting, looking through what do I have, what can I post? Is there something that's been sitting for a while? Can I lower the price a little bit? Maybe it helps. Maybe, attempting. So, I did that in HS3. So then on HS3, even when I post, I always post buy now. Okay. But my listings are buy now and you can offer. Okay. If I look at an offer, this is my process, right? If I get an offer on an item, I immediately go into my records to see what I paid for the item. Okay. That's the first thing. What did I pay for the item? What is somebody offering? The next thing I take into consideration is how long have I had this piece? If I had the piece mad long, then, I might be open to, whatever the offer is. A lot of times, even if I've had it for the longest of time, I'm not going to sell for below what I paid for it. I'd rather just sit and wait and see if eventually it sells. But, every so often I'll make an exception and say, okay, I might be losing $5 or something like that, but just get rid of it. I'm not going to sit and sell something and lose hundreds of dollars. Now, we would be a little different if, maybe if it's like sneakers or something like that, sneakers, sometimes you just kind of gotta, let me see. You gotta just like count your blessings, I guess you would say. All right, there we go. All right. So, sneakers, I've got a sneaker or two that, it might be taking hundreds of dollars in loss. But at the same time, I'm comfortable knowing that, in my entire time reselling, I'm in the green. Okay. Like I could afford to take a couple of losses here and there because I've taken so many wins, so many W's. As far as like selling something for profit and it, accomplishing that no matter how long it took for me to sell the item. So I always do buy now with the option to take offers. Recently, another individual that will remain nameless for now. You know, if that person wants to take credit, they can. If not, no big deal. You know, somebody told me, yo, Zaya, why don't you think about, because I was, you know, kind of complaining, like, you know, some of the stuff that I got, you know, I've had it for a while. It's, you know, it's not moving. Like, you know, what else can I do? I'm always open to ideas of what can I do. You know, the person told me, hey, you ever thought about doing auctions? And I said, yes. And I do not want to do that. You know, why? Because, you know, it just puts you in a position where, you know, if not enough people are watching it, you know, it's going to sell and you're more than likely going to take a loss. And the person said, you just never know. You know what I mean? Like you might win on some, you might lose on some, but, you know, like you won't know until you try it. Another instance where, and a lot of times it's the individual that's telling it to me. Okay. If you are a fuckhiga and I don't have no respect for you, you can't never give me no advice. You could give it to me, but I promise, nigga, that shit's in one ear, out the other, nigga. I don't even take that shit into consideration. You know, now people that I got respect for, you know, when they give me advice, you know, it might go in one ear and I'll let it marinate in the brain. You know, at the end of the day, I have to make the decision on, is that the best decision for me right now? Is that the best decision for what I'm doing? You know, and, you know, a lot of times, you know, if it's a homie that's giving me a thing, I'll say, well, let me try and see what happens. Now, you know, I'm not the biggest promoter of auctions on eBay. I feel like you got to have like the right product to win in all the auctions. But I definitely looked at, you know, what I got and I said, you know, I definitely want to get rid of all the sneakers that I possibly can. The reason for that is that, you know, the sneaker market is, you know, transitioning in a way where, you know, it's just not worth it. You know, I remember selling sneakers, you know, years ago, and you would make crazy profit, you know, and it's just not like that anymore. You know what I mean? Like the profit margins are lower. Shout to Kenny and a bunch of other people that have said, hey, you got to switch up. Used sneakers is the game right now. And the thing is that, you know, I'm gonna be honest, bro, used sneakers ain't my thing. Not flipping used sneakers. You know, it's always been about new sneakers. And if I flip used sneakers, usually the sneakers are mine. You know what I'm saying? The reason is because I know that I take care of my sneakers. You know, me personally, I don't like buying used electronics. Why? You don't know the abuse that other people have put on the electronics. Me, I'm not a very big fan of buying used cars. That's even worse. Okay, you do not know the abuse that someone has put on this car. Then they're going to pass it to you. And I am a person that knows nothing about cars. So you're literally just handing me a bill, you know, and a bill that I can't even like, you know, like I can't even like, I don't want to say default, but like, you know, I can't even like, I don't know nothing about cars to like say, oh shit, well, you know, usually you'd have to take this to a mechanic and he's going to charge you this, that, and the third, but I could do it myself. Okay. I'm sure someone is already typing it. Just go ahead, delete the whole thing. I do not want to hear YouTube it. Those days are not the same as like when that concept first came about. Yo, just YouTube it. Yeah, like 10 years ago when there was like 2-3 people, you only had to watch 2-3 videos and then you could get it done. Now, YouTube is flooded. Everybody's a creator. Everybody in every aspect of life, every topic, there's fucking 2, 3, 4, 500 people doing it. Okay. And the thing is that has made me respect other people's gifts. That has made me respect other people's abilities. And what I mean by that is that the amount of time that I'm going to spend trying to learn how to fix this, I could just pay someone else to do it. But Zaya, but you could save money. If you really think about it, no. Because if flipping clothes, flipping shoes, and streaming, let's say that is my hustle. That is how I make my money. I have to stop doing those things to now learn how to change a part on a car. If it takes me 3-4 days to learn how to fix that piece, that is 3-4 days that I've put my hustles on hold because I got to learn this. And then this, I may not even get this right. I might put the part in wrong and cause more issues and cause the bill to be higher. Okay? Perfect example, Jules. You know, when I was with Jules, Jules wanted me to change a part on her toilet. Okay? Now, I did change the part on the toilet, but there has always been a iffy, whether it was me or whether it was her, that the part broke the toilet and then flooded a section of her house. Okay? Now think, you know, because I, you know, again, I'm telling you, I don't think that it was my fault, but let's say that it was my fault how I installed the piece. She might have saved a couple of dollars getting me to do it, but on the back end, you know how much she had to pay after, you know, insurance and all that for a flooded room? Sometimes it's best to just respect someone else's skill. Mechanics work with cars. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a reseller. Okay, I'm not a mechanic. I don't want to be a mechanic. That don't interest me. I don't even like cars like that. I'll keep it 100. I don't get, and this is, you know, it may be because I'm older now. I don't give a rat's ass about no fucking cars. Okay? When you talk to me about the newest this and the new, bro, that shit is gibberish to me. Okay? A car is a tool. Okay? To me, a car is not a status. Like, you know, like, man, I don't give a fuck about no car. Now, don't get me wrong. If I was like rich, Zaya, if you was rich, would you have cars? Of course. Because again, to me, a car is a tool. A car gives you the ability to get from point A to point B. Okay? I don't care about cars. Okay? I just don't. So, you know, like that's another thing, you know? When you are learning something that does not interest you whatsoever, it takes you even longer to learn it. So now take that 3 days that it took me to learn the thing. That's 3 days. If I get it, like it might take 6 days. It might take 10 days, 2 weeks, a month. Nigga, I'm not stopping my hustle to save $50 on some fucking piece. No, I will pay someone else to do it. Want another one? Building. It's Zaya the Builder don't exist. Okay, even down to Legos, nigga. I fucking hate it. I hate building. I usually pay someone else to build the product, or I'm one of them niggas that will go into the store. Perfect example is like a bike, right? You know, a lot of people will go in and buy the bike in the box and all that type of, you know, maybe they give it as a gift. Oh, don't worry, I know how to put it together. No, I'm the nigga that says, yo, how much? Do you guys have a service to put it together? Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to pay for the bike and I'm going to pay for the service. Put it together and then just call me when I can come pick it up. So, again, you know, a friend of mine told me I should auction, and I decided to take them up on it. I want to get rid of all the shoes. My personals, that's perfectly fine. I'll keep my personals, and then if I decide to sell, cool. But like, I have a whole section of shoes that I have for sale that, you know, I am heavily focused on getting rid of it by any means necessary. I feel like, you know, again, from 300 plus sneakers, I'm down to like maybe 60, 70 sneakers. 300 plus sneakers. And not saying that I went from 300 plus sneakers all the way down to 70. No, I went from 300 plus to like 300, to like 250, to like 275, back to 225, back to 300, back to 275, right? Because, you know, in time, you buy, you sell, you buy, you sell, you buy, you sell. Now, I want to say at least the last year, I ain't really bought anything that my mental is like, yo, I'm only buying this to flip. Okay, I've literally told myself, don't buy no more. You know, the market is just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. What size shoes are you, bro? 11 and a half. That's me personally. 11 and a half. Before that, 11. I might have like a few 10 here and there, but most of my sneakers for sale are 11 and a half. Matter of fact, I'll keep it 100. The majority of the shoes now that I'm selling are out of my original personal collection. So, I said, fuck it. I looked at what I had left. I'm working with the pairs that don't have boxes, those pairs right there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to auction them off. I've committed. I've told myself, you know what? It's a gamble, right? I look around, and this is what actually convinced me, right? I look around and I see a lot of the people that are in my life. And I mean y'all too, right? Mostly y'all. This is not like a Pebs thing or even a Cardi thing. This is mostly y'all. I be seeing y'all talk about this. The parlays, right? A lot of you niggas are gamblers, okay? Me, I recognize that I'm not a gambler. I feel like I work too hard for my money just to take a chance like that and then lose it, and then that's it. I made a bad choice and now somebody takes my money and then I'm just like, no money? Yeah, I don't do well with the gambling, right? So I'm not a gambler, never have, never will be. That just does not make no sense to me. But I said, I'm willing to gamble this one time, but I'm not going to gamble with money. I'm going to gamble with the items that I have left, Again, I'm looking at a lot of the sneakers that do not have boxes. Might have been I think they all out of my personal collection. I think they're all Nike SBs as well. They are out of my personal collection, no box. Good sneakers, that on the market command still a couple of dollars. I said, fuck it, I'm gonna test it out because, the other day I was looking at the sneakers, right? And I find myself, I always talk to myself, but I find myself even having a conversation with the sneakers, and I say, why are you still here? There's sneakers that have been listed since I originally started to flip all my sneakers. So I'm looking at my sneakers, why are you guys still here? Why haven't you sold yet? So, I've had them at buy now, and here's another thing, right? Because this is another thing I look for, like on eBay. eBay lets you know when people are watching the sneaker, right? Man, I got a sneaker there that is being watched by 30 something people. Okay. eBay also allows you every so often to send offers to the people that are watching. This particular sneaker, I've already sent offers more than 10 times. Nobody is biting, right? But it's Operation Sell right now. So you got to get the fuck up out of here somehow, some way. Okay. So I said, all right, well, you know what? I'm going to gamble. I'm going to gamble. I don't really feel no way about it because I'm not necessarily gambling with money. I am gambling with a product that I paid for, but more times than not, I paid a low amount for the product. I'm stuck in between me paying a low amount for the product and what the product goes for, right? So I'll use an example. A lot of y'all know that years past, I used to go to Nike clearance and I used to buy a lot of stuff out of Nike clearance. A lot of Nike SBs, it might have been $39.99. So let's take that as an example, right? If I have a sneaker that I paid $39.99 for, but the market says that it's worth $400, the mentality with this product that I have now is that, my nigga, you already paid low for it. Yeah, the market says that this was what it was going for. The problem is that this is a buyer's market and not a seller's market. A buyer's market that, they could find your shoe from somebody else for less. Or the market is so fucking flooded that, it's going to take forever for someone in their brain to say, oh shit, I want to go and look for this specific sneaker. The majority of the people out there, you're buying what's current. Okay? Nike already has you on the line for, damn, this sneaker comes out next week. That sneaker comes out the week after that. I got to and then it don't make it no better. You niggas is adults. So you got bills. We are the worst, the adults that have bills. Okay? This was told to me a long time ago when I did sneaker events. Sneaker events are geared for kids. Okay? Why? Because kids don't have bills. Kids have money that they're willing to just spend it, So, most of you guys are adults and Nike already has you on the hook. You want the cement 3s. You want the fucking Toro 4s. You want this sneaker. You want that sneaker. So there's little opportunity or time for you to say, well, let me go buy this sneaker that I always wanted that I never got around to. Right? And that's what I feel like has happened. That is the excuse at least I made for the sneakers when I said, why haven't you guys sold? It's because nobody is looking for you. That's what the problem is. You might be worth something to the right individual, but there's not enough of those individuals that are looking for you. So I said, fuck it. I'm gonna run them as auctions. Right now I got an auction going. I'm low on the auction, man, but it is what it is. It's just like gambling. I think this sneaker though, I think this is one of the $39.99s that I might have paid for. I don't know for sure. I'm telling that to myself to make myself feel better. Now I know me, right? And I know that I ain't the type to go blow $400, $500, $600, $700 on a pair of sneakers. So, like when I look at the sneaker, yeah, the market says that it could go for $350, $400. I said, fuck it. I'm going to start the auction off at $1. Right now it's at $172, right? I look at the sneaker and I say, I either got it from clearance or I got it for retail. Any way you put it, I'm already in the green. Am I where I would like to be? No, I would like it to sell for $300. But if it ends, and it's going to end within, I think it has less than 24 hours left. Okay. Let me see active. Let me tell you. Let me tell y'all. I think the last time I looked at it, it's at 175.50. Okay, and it has 6 hours. Oh my God, that means that by the morning, that's it. It's gone. Hopefully the person pays immediately. I'll just put it in a box and it'll go out. But if it ends right now at 175, that'll be me gambling. For the first time. Well, I don't want to say for the first time. I have been to Vegas before and I have gambled in Vegas, but I'm the higger that I find the closest penny slot to where the kitchen is. Because in Vegas, as long as you're putting stuff in the machine, you get free drinks, right? So I make sure I got my dollars. I make sure, I put a dollar into the machine. I get 100 credits for the penny machine. And then, can I get a beer, this, that, and the third? And I give the waitress $1. Okay. But, I decided to, the last couple of ones that I have, I'm going to run them as auction. I'm not going to go crazy and do them all at the same time. Cause again, I'm not in a rush. Let me see. Let me get a feel for it. I'm definitely committed to doing 1 to 2 every single week. Okay. So what I put for this week was that sneaker, which is the Nike SB, low yin yang. Okay, size 11.5, no box, back in 2015. It's a dope sneaker. It's 2 different sneakers on the foot. Obviously, the concept yin yang. $175. Just hopefully that bitch just ends at 200 plus. 200 plus, that's fine. Because again, you still got to pay eBay fees and all that shit, man. Everybody got to get paid, but so that's where I'm at with as far as the selling of some sneakers. Now, there was a reason why I was telling y'all all this. Again, I'm very detailed in in my story. So, pardon me if you might be lost, but, so that is one of the sneakers that, I decided to auction off. The other sneakers that I decided to auction off that I looked and I said, yo, like these, bro, I ain't even got someone, at the very least, the sneakers that I have that are, the yin yangs, somewhere along the lines, someone showed interest. It just never went through. The deal never went through. The other 3 sneakers, which are the size 18 and the size 17, my nigga, I don't think nobody has even ever asked me nothing. Nobody is watching them, nothing. They're literally sitting there. And I'm just like, you might have to cut your losses, Papa. That, like if the sneaker market is doing what it's doing right now, could you imagine size 17 and 18? Like, that shit ain't never going to sell, nigga. Now, my lesson is I probably would never, ever, even if I got back into buying more sneakers, I would never buy above a 13. Never. There's some sneakers that I would never buy Okay. The deal has to be the craziest deal ever for me to even consider. Size 8, size 8.5. No. Size 14, anything above that. No. 7, 7.5, 6, 6.5. I feel like that's the majority of chicks. Okay. And then anything below that, I probably would pass on. Just from experience, seeing that, people don't buy those sneakers. So on eBay, I had a size 18 white cement 3s listed, and I had a size 17 wolf gray 6s listed. Out of nowhere, the other day, right? The size 18, first and foremost. Crazy because I had two of them, and one of them I had in a box and I didn't even see it. And when I sold the one that I had, Pepe's was like, I told Pepe's, yo, could you imagine? I don't, the two 18s, they're gone. That's crazy. Lo and behold, one of the 18s was sitting in a box. So I got another size 18 that I'm going to put up for auction. But the other day, the very first sneaker that I auctioned, that I decided to put as auction, taking someone's advice, was the size 18 white cement 3s. Okay. I put it up, I believe, for, it might have been $49.99 to start. And then you got to set like a buy now price. And I think I set $149.99. So $49.99 to start. And, you could bid as much as you could bid. The buy now, though, is $149. Brother, the very next day, somebody bought it for the $149. And I was like, yo, where the fuck has this person been? Where they been at? What I started to think is that people that are on eBay, more than likely they are looking at auctioned listings. They're not looking at buy nows. You might look up a sneaker by name and it might give you all of them. But I believe there's a certain class of people. The reason I know this is because I'm one of them people that looks at auctions that are ending. I'm a nigga that loves a deal. So every so often I just go into eBay and I say, show me what's ending today. I might like Joker stuff. I put, Joker, clothes, toys, what ends today. And it'll give you everything that's ending in the next couple of hours, the next couple of days. Maybe the person was able to find them there. Don't worry. Listen, home run out the park, 149 straight out the gate, sold it, shipped it, perfect, got good feedback for it, everything. So I said, okay, I like this right here. I'm going to list the next one for auction, which is the size 17 wolf gray 6s. Okay. They sat on auction. Matter of fact, I'm not going to hold you. I think they sat on auction. They went all the way down to the last day. Nobody bid it. Again, it was a $49.99 start, $149.99 purchase buy now. I want to say that they relisted themselves. eBay just automatically relists your stuff. So I think it went one whole time of nobody seeing. Then it relisted itself. It went 7 days. It went 7 days. And then it sold. So I seen that it sold, but when it sold for $49.99. Matter of fact, I'm incorrect. Two people bidded. A person bidded, then another person bidded, and then the first person bidded again, and he won. He or she. They won it for like $6. Was it 49? It had to have been $59.99 because the last bid was like 61 something. So I said, all right, cool. This is where the story starts, okay? I gave you a lot of back thing, just kind of bringing you up to speed on everything that has happened to get me to this point, okay? Now, this is what the title says, okay? So let me go to it because I made sure to take pictures or take screenshots. I may not have screenshots. Oh, no. You know what? I could look at the messages. Give me 1 second, y'all. Salutes. I see some of y'all asking me questions. In all honesty, like, just do not ask me any questions when I am in story time. If you want to interrupt my story time, you got to pay me. Okay. And I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, you know, and this is how I've always been. I don't know if I've told y'all this, but like when I'm in a zone, don't ask me nothing. I'm not answering no questions. I'm in a zone. I'm trying to tell a story. If you want to interrupt, you got to pay $2. Okay. I will answer your questions during a time when it is slow and I have nothing to talk about. When I have something to talk about, I'm not interested in answering free questions. Okay. And please don't take that personal. You know, it realistically, like if I sat here and answered questions, y'all guys would get me off of what I'm talking about too many times. Okay. So let's save the questions, the free ones. If you don't want to cough up no money to get a question asked, then you got to wait till free time. Wait till free time, and you know I'll answer your question then. Let me see. Let me go to messages. Okay, where's this person at? Okay, bang. Okay, I got it right here. Right. So the shoe sells. Let me see. Does it tell me? Does it tell me what it sold? Did I get it right? What I was saying? The 61 something, $62. Right. So it must have started at 59. It sold at 62. Right. So the sneaker sells. I get the notification that says the sneaker sold. So I'm like, cool. You know, I look at it. I look and I said, damn, $62. Technically I took a loss on that sneaker by like $20. Fuck it. No big deal. You know, as a reseller, when you buy stuff, you're taking the chance that you can flip it. But you have to understand that you just might not be able to flip it. Like, you know, so if I paid $80 for the sneaker and I sell it for 60, oh, Zaya, you took a loss. Yeah, a $20 loss. What was the alternative? An $80 loss? Right? Like, I'll take the $20 loss. Nigga, fuck it, nigga. Like, I get $60 of my $60 of my money back, and I take that 60 and I invest it in something that I make 100 from, 200 from. You know, whatever I lost in the 20, like, you know, I'm going to make it back. You know, as a reseller, you got to understand that mindset. Okay. So I get the notification that the sneaker sells, right? And I look at it, $62. I'm like, fuck. All right, fuck it. No big deal. You know, like I already put myself in the mentality that, bruh, you know, one of these is going to go wrong and you know, you're going to lose. So you just have to know that. But, you know, I'm going to try the auction thing just to see if I get lucky. $62 it sells. I go to look at the sneaker. I say, fuck it. Cool. Right. Then I see that I have a message. Now, this individual, the person that wins the sneaker, definitely messaged me before the auction finished. But he only messaged me like an hour before the auction finished. Okay. He didn't message me days before the auction would finish. He mentioned me. He messaged me an hour before the auction finished. You feel me? The person said, if I win, can you hold the payment till Friday? I can pay Thursday night. This ended on a Sunday, right? So that is, you know, Sunday to Monday, Monday to Tuesday, Tuesday to Wednesday, Wednesday to Thursday night. So Thursday to Friday, 5 extra days. Okay. Me personally, right? I've utilized an option that eBay has. Immediate payment, not pay me in 5 days. Okay. To the people that are not hip to eBay, my nigga, if you buy something and the person has the listing on immediate payment and you think, you know, whether you communicate with me or you don't, and you go 5 days to, you know that I could end your shit, right? I don't even got to sell it to you. Okay. And eBay will back me because it's set to immediate payment. You were supposed to pay immediately. You didn't. You didn't. And now let me tell you something. eBay looks at that a certain type of way because technically eBay has it kind of set up to where once you win something, your payment is already on file. So they just pull the money. So if the payment doesn't go immediately, it's because eBay can't pull it from nowhere. And now eBay got eyes on you because they know that you don't have a payment source that's on file that can cover you buying stuff. You're really just doing yourself a disservice, because they're going to end up looking at you, and then you're going to end up, it's going to end up where they don't suspend your account, but they're going to tell you your account's on hold until you update your payment stuff. Because obviously this person has it set to immediate payment. We tried to pull the payment and now nothing. So this person obviously won, their payment don't go through, and then they're telling me, hey, can I hold it for 5 more days? Okay. Now, I went on a rant about this either yesterday or the day before yesterday. And I was, calling people hoe ass higgers and all that type of shit, right? But, listen to where I'm coming from, right? I think it's absolutely irresponsible to be buying something on a Sunday and be trying to ask a nigga to hold it till Friday. I think that that's irresponsible. And, the other day I went crazy, right? This time I want to say it in the nicest way possible, because, I feel like sometimes when I'm aggressive, you only remember that I'm aggressive. You only remember that I called someone a hoe ass nigga. You don't remember the reasoning behind what I'm saying. So let me tell you this, bro. It's irresponsible. Okay. Number one, like, if you want that, you got to shop somewhere where they do layaway. You know what layaway is? Layaway is like an old thing too. I remember when layaway used to be a thing back in the day. I don't know if they even still do that. If they don't still do that, I know why. You know why? Because a higger that puts something on layaway, 9.9 times out of 10 don't ever fucking come back to buy stuff. They don't. They keep you sitting there waiting with the product, and they listen, if, some of them might even know that they got you waiting, and they will keep you waiting forever. Okay. They will keep you waiting forever, and then probably have an attitude if they come 3 months later and you don't even have the product no more. But you say you was going to hold it. I said I was going to hold it for a week. Like, I shouldn't even told you that, because you took advantage of that. Okay. There's way too many people in the world that's like that, right? You're probably a nice person. You're probably a cool individual, but you got a bad habit, and that is a bad habit. Okay. You are not respecting another individual's time. You're not respecting another individual's money. You're not respecting the fact that, bro, you got it for a steal. Okay, you got it for a steal, bro. Like, and the steal part, maybe that person doesn't know because they don't know what I paid for it. But like, bro, like, you got it for a steal. Like, my nigga, pay that shit and get up out of there quick. Okay, salutes, man. But there are people that are like that. So the individual asked me if I win, right? But they're saying if I win, because they emailed me like an hour before the listing ended. Okay. Obviously I didn't answer them. You know what, to me, you know what that is? If the person don't answer you, you shouldn't have bidded. Okay. You know that you don't even got no money to buy this item right now. On top of that, can you read? A lot of higgers don't read. You don't even realize that you are looking at a listing and it's under immediate payment due. Okay. Let me tell you, because this is what ends up fucking this guy over. When you bid on something or you win something and the listing says immediate payment due, and then you try to come and tell me, yo, can I pay it on another day? You've already defaulted. If I want to go file a claim, there's actually a space that says that. Did the buyer try to change the terms of the listing? Example, asking to pay later than when he's supposed to pay. That's an actual thing that you could click on. It's preset. So that tells me that eBay deals with that problem a lot. All right. There's people that are bidding on stuff that it's immediate payment now. And then you're going to try to get into DMs and say, hey, can I just pay this later? And the thing is that I could say, yeah, I could have waited, but no. Why? And what I explained to him is, bro, I can't even tell you the last time somebody told me, can you wait until such and such date? And they actually came back when they said that they was going to. Shout out to Cardi. You should accept auto pay on eBay. You'll open yourself up to more customers. Auto pay? Okay, I got to look at that. But what is that? What's auto pay? Regardless, yeah, I'll look into it. Definitely. But, again, like, just my experience, I don't want to call you a name. Some of y'all out there like, man, they were talking about me. I don't want to call you a hoe ass Higgin and this, that, and the third. You're probably a nice person. You have a bad habit though, especially if you do that on a regular basis. You're always looking to buy something, but you're always looking to tell the person you'll pay them later. And the thing is that, bro, like, you got to respect someone's business, bro. Like, okay, like, if you don't have the money for it right then and there, just don't buy it. Like, and like, you could tell me, well, I was the only person that was even going to buy this, Zaya. Like, wouldn't you want to know that you sold it to someone? No, because you didn't pay me. So it's the same thing as it being listed online, and nobody is doing anything. What you did was you was able to claim it. Now I have to, and this, the type of person that I am, let me tell you something. Anybody that I ever borrowed money from, bro, they ain't never have to ask me for an update on their money. Never. I'm going to update you even when you tell me, Zaya, it's cool. Like, I'm going to let you know, yo, this is what's going on. If I told you I'm paying you on Friday, I'm paying you on Friday. Monday, I'm telling you, yo, we still good. Tuesday, I'm telling you, we still good. If something happens that I can't pay you on Friday, let's just say, bro, as soon as I know, you're going to know. There's too many people that they're not on point like that. Okay. Again, based off my experience, I cannot tell you the last time that I sold someone an item. They told me that they was going to pay me, and then they came back on the day that they said that they was going to pay me. It's usually me always having to, yo, you still want this? Oh shit, yeah, my fault. I forgot to tell you that I need 2 more weeks. I'm going to be honest, bro. I start looking at you like you're a liar, bro. Like, no, you knew that you wasn't going to buy this. You knew that you was going to make me wait. No, but Zay, things came up. I get it. I know that in life things come up. But my nigga, you got my business on hold. Things happen in your life and you got my business on hold. And then, those type of people won't say, damn, Zay, my fault. It's not like I even want to hear this, but Zaya, just don't even worry about it. Let it go to somebody else. Technically, you wasted the time you wasted the time in buying my item. You wasted the time in me holding the item. And now here you come. Oh, well, just let it go to somebody else because I had to go find you for the item. I might never do business with you ever again, bro. And in all honesty, nobody should do business with you. They shouldn't. I wish that was something that, you could put the person's name on a billboard and say, don't do business with this person right here. It's just irresponsible, bro. I don't ever do that. Okay. I don't ever do that because you're holding up somebody else's business. And like I said, back in the day when I was a kid, layaway was a heavy thing. Okay. I'm almost certain that they don't do layaway no more. Why? Because layaway says, yo, put $10 down on this. And then the person don't ever come back, Now, fuck it. Like, okay, well, fuck it. Like, at least I gained the $10, right? But, like, the thing is that if the person don't ever come back, like, you still got to relist the item. You still got to try to sell the item. They got to pay with auto pay. It's a contract that takes the money out their account within 1 to 7 days at the time that they choose. Okay. All right. Yeah. I might, wherever I got to go on eBay to set that up, I'll probably do that. See if I get some more customers like that. So, this was, like, I'm looking at my message, right? I'm just noticing this now. I have my own bad habit that I really need to stop doing. That habit is, I will tell y'all something and I will say, hey, no disrespect, but blank, 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 blank. Bro, you're going to take it disrespectful any fucking way. I'm just wasting my time to say no disrespect. I shouldn't even have to say that no more because just Higgins take it the wrong way anyway. Okay? Look how I start off my message. No disrespect. But out of hundreds, I'll pay later, hold it for me. Not one person has ever come back. Okay? Not one. Maybe if I sit here and I fucking bust my fucking noggin, maybe I could think of one. Me off the top of the head, I can't remember not one time someone ever told me to hold something and they came back. You know? Matter of fact, they might have come back months later. Yo, you still got... No. One thing to know about Zaya, okay? And this is where I exercise the right to lie, right? I don't lie. I feel like it's stupid. I'm a grown man. Why should I have to lie? You know what I mean? You know, and also it makes me feel good to, you know, be straightforward, you know, and say things how they are. You know, you may not like my response, but you will never be able to say that, man, that Zaya, he's a liar, Higga, until this instance. If you ask me to hold it for you, I'm probably going to say yes. I have no intention of holding it for you if someone comes with the money. 1,000%. If you ever say, Zaya, can you hold something? I might say, yeah. Because I'm trying to get you on the hook for the item. Okay, this person says that he's going to buy the item. Cool. Right? I'm going to entertain you. But if someone else comes with the money, nigga, I'm selling that shit. And when you come later, I'm going to say, oh, my fault. It's sold already. Damn, but Zaya, I thought you was going to hold it for me. I'm saying, though, like a hold ain't like a hold is like a promise. You promising to come back. I'm promising to hold it. Like, man, that shit don't mean nothing. You know, if you want it, you're going to make a deal for it. If you want, at the very least, like if you want something, yo, Zaya, like, man, I ain't got all the money right now, man. You know, like, how much is the item? 200? Yo, Zaya, let me give you 50. You give me 50? That tells me that there's intention to buy this item. You give me 50, I might just hold this item for the week. Yeah, 100, he gave me 50. But most people that do that, they don't put no money down. And to me, a Higga that don't put no money down has no intention of coming back to get the item. They just don't. You know, they don't. You know, and, you know, again, instead of insulting you, I'm going to say that there's either two things, right? Either you are a good person with good intention and just life is just kicking your ass because that's what your excuse is going to be. Oh, some shit came up. Or number two, you're a fuckboy. You're a fuckboy. You don't have no intention on coming to get this shit. You wasting my time. And a person that's deliberately wasting your time, you should do everything in your power to eliminate that person from your life. A person that's wasting your time. And we are in a world where you don't have all the time that you'd like. My nigga, on earth, you can't afford to waste nothing. You can't afford to waste nothing. Imagine letting another Higga waste it. So I'm letting another Higga waste the valuable time that I shouldn't even be wasting? There's too many people out there like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Again, some of y'all are great people. Some of y'all are nice. But you got a bad habit. You know? You might have poor spending habits also. You don't got money, but I don't know if this applies, right? But it applies in food. You know? There's people that eat to survive, and then there's people that eat with their eyes. You know? That translates into spending. There's people that buy to survive. There's people that buy because they could afford it. And then there's a class of people that buy with their eyes. Their wallet cannot keep up with their eyes. They see something they wanted, they start making promises. They start making promises. You know what the problem is with that person? You know why the person never comes back? Because they're buying with their eyes. While you're holding the item, they're still buying stuff. It's not like the person said, you know what? Zaya said he's going to hold it for a week. Nigga, I'm not eating lunch. I'm not buying no extra stuff. Man, everybody got to take a back seat because Zaya said that he was going to hold it for me and I'm going to get that Higga's money by all means. No. You know, you still going out and buying $20 for lunch. You know, you promised your fucking broad you're going to take her out on the weekend. You know, maybe you guys got kids. Like, you know, but Zaya, I'm saying though, like, I got to take care of my kids. And, you know, like, what you expect? I'm saying though, Higga, you're the one that promised me. How was it my fault now? You promised me you was going to pay me, nigga. Like, and now all of a sudden, like, I get that you love your kids and, you know, I ain't trying to disrespect your kids, but man, what the fuck them kids got to do with me? You made a promise to me, Higga. That's life, though. That's why I don't want to insult you, because I know it. I know it happens. Life kicks in. And all the extracurricular stuff that you was doing and all the items that you was buying with your eyes, you're going to push all them things to the side because you got to do life stuff. I get it. You feel me? I get it. Just know that, like, I'm going to say, yeah, but like, if somebody else come with the money, I'm going to sell that motherfucker, my nigga. And I'm going to look you directly in your face and I'm going to say, oh shit, yeah, I sold it. Hold on. Bam, let's go right there. Where my guy at? Mr. Williams. Salutes, Popeyes. Let me get you, man. Huh? Hold that wrench, nigga. Man, you see idiots, nigga. Let me tell you something. This is the new rule. Especially like in the vertical. If there are new trolls, then and this is not like a rule. This is just like if it's up to you, right? If there's a new troll that you ain't never seen before, you do what you want with them, right? If it's a troll you seen in here and you already know the name, ban immediately. Okay? That's another person that I've given time. Okay? I let you live in my shit thinking that at some point you're going to donate $2 to troll. I've come to the realization that you're never going to pay if you can do it for free. It's an immediate ban. Okay? Salutes, man. I got to, brother. Listen, Mr. Williams, I'm about my paper. And I've always tried to be fair even to the people that are shitting on me. And the thing is that I'm tired of doing that. There's no more. That's it. If you're trolling, you will pay to troll or you will not. You will swipe and move to someone else. If you have been a fucking cock riding me for who knows how long, bro, your time is up. You have shed $0 from the very beginning. I never respected free trolling. It might have been past because like other Higgins wars spending to troll. Okay, but that has slowed down. The paid trolling has slowed down. That means that free trolling is a no-go. Okay, do with those individuals as you see fit, Mr. Williams. You own them. Okay, you want to kick a higger? Kick a higger. That's it. All right. So back to this eBay story, right? And I know, listen, boy, the details that nigga, I'm an hour 14 in this joint, and I'm not finished no time soon. So again, the person won 2022 size 17 Jordan 6 retro cool gray. They paid $62. They hit me probably an hour before the auction ended. They said, if I win, can you hold for payment till Friday? I can pay Thursday night. This was ending on Sunday, so it would have been 5 extra days. Obviously, I see it after the fact. They should have never bidded. You never got my confirmation or nothing. You never got my okay, like don't bid. But they did. They won. I said, no disrespect, but out of hundreds, I'll pay later. Hold for me. Not one person has ever come back. I'm sorry, but I'm not willing to wait an extra 4 to 5 days and then have to cancel the order. My apologies. And what I mean is that, I don't want to wait 4 or 5 days. And then, what if I hit you? Here's another thing, right? Most times a nigga that's promising, my nigga, you got to hit them up. I hate that. I hate that, my nigga. Like, I'm doing you a favor, nigga. You should be checking for me. You should be hitting me up. You should be the one that's attentive. You the one that got the favor, not me looking for my money. All right? That's the worst. Okay? That's the worst. Where in life is it respected when a nigga has to hunt you down for his money? All right? My nigga, that's damn near credit card collections. That's repoing a car. All right? You just brought those bad habits that you might have in real life into this part of your life, where now you're making promises to pay, and then the person has to try to track you down for the money. So what I said is that I'm not even about to take the chance that I say okay, and then in 4 or 5 days, I got to send you a message. Hey, you paying today? eBay is even worse because I don't even know you. Like, you literally could look at my message and say, man, fuck this nigga. I'll talk to him tomorrow. Fuck this nigga. I'll hit him up in 3 days. Fuck this nigga, man. I'm going to take an extra week, nigga. He looked like he got mad stuff, man. He could sell some other stuff. Where's that respected, bro? Nowhere. Nowhere in life is it respected when a nigga gotta hunt you down for his money. Okay? And technically, when a nigga gotta hunt you down for his money in real life, nigga, that's repoing. That's collections. You know, like, come on, man. So I said that, right? I even said my apologies. I don't got to apologize to this nigga. This nigga just bid it on something that he can't pay for. I'm going to have to fucking cancel this. I'm going to have to relist it and wait another 5 days. Now, maybe someone out there says it because that person's going to eventually say it. So I think one of y'all is thinking this, so I want to answer it, right? But Zaya, he already bought it. If you cancel it, you're going to wait 5 days anyway. Yeah, but the thing is that I'm rolling the dice that he wanted, and in 5 days, he's going to give me another excuse. Now I'm not waiting 5 days. I might be waiting 6 days, 7 days, 10 days, 14 days. I'm at the mercy of this person. Why? Because I'm being a real nigga by saying I'm willing to wait, and you saying, fuck it, I'm going to take advantage because this nigga say he'll wait. You know? So, to me, it's more beneficial to cancel and relist it, and in 5 days, hopefully, a mature and responsible buyer buys it. Okay? So after that, he sends the message. He says, okay, I understand. Okay, I said, okay, there you go. You know what I mean? Like, no disrespect. I didn't disrespect him. At that moment, he didn't disrespect me. He said he understood. The next step, there's no other step. The next step is the cancel. Okay, you understand. You understand that I'm not willing to wait 4 or 5 extra days, especially when my listings say, immediate payment due. Okay, cool. After that, I cancel. Okay, I cancel. No big deal. A couple of days go by, and, I go on my eBay and, there's something about me. I don't know if other people are like this, right? I check every single financial account that I have every day. I check my bank every day. I run through every single credit card that I have every day. There's credit cards I know that I ain't use, and I still check them every single day. Okay? Because you never know when something is going to change. If something comes in, you want to be ahead of the game. Oh shit, something's happening that I didn't authorize this. I got to make a move. The same way I am with my financials is the same way I am with eBay, as well as Alias. eBay really, because eBay has a feedback system. So literally I check my eBay every single day. I check my Alias multiple times a day to see, did somebody put in an offer? I might look at it and say, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to take that offer and let me cash it in right now. Bang. So I look at my Alias multiple times a day. I look at my eBay multiple times a day. I look at my financials at least one time a day. Okay? I look at my eBay and I always hover over the little spot that shows me the feedback. Now, the feedback part, because I want to give props where props is due. Shout out to eBay. In the very beginning, years ago, if we did a deal, I would have to wait for you to leave feedback. I've sold over 600 items on eBay. My feedback rating is in the 200s. That should tell you something. Okay? That means that 1 out of 3 is actually leaving feedback. Them other 2, you know what type of people they are? People that don't hit the like button. Ask yourself that. Did you hit the like button on this? I'm saying, Zay, I used to say, well, if you need to wait to the end, you shouldn't even wait to the end, nigga. I've been giving you a good story for an hour and a half. You don't think that I've earned at least a free thumbs up? There's people like you. You don't hit the like button. You don't share. You don't do nothing. You don't do nothing. You're a leech. You leech. You leech off of watching and being entertained, and you don't even think that I deserve the free like. Not the $2 dono, the free like, the free one. All it takes is you doing like that. And even that, you're like, you don't even realize it, my nigga, you're a hater. You're literally a hater. Okay? Because imagine watching someone every single day or every single time and you don't ever hit the like button. Low key, you're a hater. And if you're willing to look in the mirror and say, you damn right, Zay, I'm a hater, then by all means, as long as you know that you're a hater, you know, but Zay, I got to tell you, think of you're a hater, low key. You know, you're a behind the scenes hater. You know, listen, when I hate, nigga, man, you know that I hate. You know, I get up on here and run my fucking mouth. And I tell you when I'm hating on somebody, you know, regardless of the fact, those feedback people, they're similar to you. They don't leave no feedback, no positive feedback, nothing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, you know, people be the same people that don't leave no feedback. It's the same people that hit you up and say, yo, would you be willing to take this? And I might have said, all right, yeah, we could do that deal. So you don't even take into account that said, damn, the nigga gave me a deal. The least I could do to help him out, to help his business out, because he gave me a deal, man, let me leave some positive feedback. You don't even do that. Guess what? eBay said, fuck them higgers. Now, if you don't do something within a certain amount of time, eBay gives it to me. Okay? I've noticed the difference. In past years, you might see me with maybe like, you know, I might have sold 50 items and only got 3 feedback in a full year. My nigga, in this year alone, I've gotten like 40, 50 positive feedbacks. Majority, if not all, are defaults because the other person don't do nothing. Now, salutes to the people that do leave positive feedback. You know, I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Definitely. You guys are always going to be appreciated. You know, thank you to the people that hit the like button. Thank you to the people that share. Man, this convo is never about you. Okay? I'm talking to the higgers that don't do shit and letting you know one day YouTube is going to do the same thing that eBay is doing. And they're going to say, fuck you. And I'm going to get it anyway. All right? You better hope that YouTube don't tell me who's not doing it. I promise you, you're banned. I'm letting you know today. The day that YouTube lets me know who's hitting the like button and who's not, and I see someone that is just consistently never hitting the like button, I'm going to ban you. You know? Plain and simple, nigga. You know, you're not helping me build. You're not helping me do nothing. You're just leeching off of what I'm doing here. Okay? So just know, you know, listen, if there's one thing about Zaya, Zaya follows through. I'm promising you. Your day is coming. Okay? So, salute to the feedback. You know, I check my eBay every day. I hover, and I know my shit is supposed to say 282. Or maybe somebody left new feedback, 283. Maybe multiple, 284, 285, 286. My shit says 281. When you see your feedback go backwards, it's because someone left you negative feedback. So I said, wait, what? You know, because in my mind, I'm not even remembering this guy. You know, I'm telling myself, bro, you know, because if there's one thing, listen, I'm down to argue with niggas if I get paid. For free, man, stop wasting my fucking time. I'm not arguing with niggas for free. Okay, I'm just not, you know, I'm at a point in my life. I'm just not doing it. You know what I mean? It just is what it is, you know? So, you know, I'm thinking, I'm like, bro, I can't even remember the last time I got into a back and forth with someone on eBay, right? And this is happening mad fast in my brain. I can't even remember the last time I got into a back and forth with someone on eBay. Man, listen, if you buy from me, listen, if you buy from me right now, nigga, I'm packaging it up. My nigga, I might break night so that I'm the first nigga to get to the post office. Because I want to get that shit out of here. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you know that about me. If I owe you something, you know, I don't want to sound like I'm Russian higgers, but my nigga, I want you to take it already. I don't like owing nobody nothing. I understand in the nature of my business, some higgers are going to get owed. I owe 1 or 2 people shirts. I'm really waiting for them. They ain't waiting for me to ship it out. I'm waiting for them to give me an address to ship it to. That's perfectly fine. Take your time. I'm just saying that when it comes to business, if it's on me, I'm doing everything in my power, package it up, make sure it's good, nigga, and get it to the post office, get it out of here quick. All right? I'm like, bro, there's nobody even that I even mailed too late. Okay? When you look at my shit is 100%. There's like 4 categories. 100, 100, 100, 100. Okay? And one of those is shipping time. I get it out quick. I get it out the next day from when you purchase something from me. All right? If I tell you I'm going to send you something and you've given me all your details, nigga, the shit's going out the next day. So I see the 281, right? Let me click on this motherfucker. Bang, I click on it. And this is what I see. Okay? Let me this is what I see. Where's it at? Right here. I see that it's the person that bidded on the size 17 sneaker. The one that I canceled the transaction. Won an item in bid. Before winning, I reached out and asked for roughly 4 to 5 days more to submit payment. Seller declined. Canceled my order. I told him I understand, but that I am a serious buyer. He never told me that he's a serious buyer. So already, that's the first lie. Look, I'm going to show you. Right? So, again, I've told this to people several times. Bro, when you lie, you kill your integrity. Okay? Look, do I have to do this? I might have to do this for you to read it. This is the full message thing. Actually, I think I already had it set the right way. Bang. Yeah, because you see it. Look, where does he say he's a serious buyer? Nowhere. Nowhere in there he says that he's a serious buyer. Okay? So already, I looked right there and I said, no, you didn't. You ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie. Okay? And if you're lying, it's because you're trying to do something. You're trying to get over or something like that. That's fine. Like, if you're a liar on the other end of the screen and you're trying to do everything you can to get away, that's perfectly fine. But like, the thing is, you got to always expect to be caught. Like, if you go into a place and shoplift, when you get to the door, you have to already in your mind say, it's a 50-50 chance right now that I'm about to get caught. You got to tell yourself that. You got to. It's being realistic. Okay? Again, won an item in bid. Before winning, I reached out and asked for roughly 4 to 5 days more to submit payment. Seller declined. Canceled my order. I told him I understood, but that I am a serious buyer. Seller reposted for bid for another 5 days and blocked me from any further bidding or purchasing of any items that they are selling. Okay? That part is true, though. Like, after he told me he understood and after I canceled the transaction, everything in me, felt disrespected. When I feel disrespected, I like to lash out. It makes me feel better. At the end of the day, I have to do what makes me feel better. So just understand that. Like, if you disrespect me, the only way to make myself feel better is to lash out at you. It make you uncomfortable. Disrespect you 10 times worse than you disrespecting me. That's going to make me feel better. Okay? So everything in me was saying, man, cuss this nigga out. The thing is that, I got to check myself sometimes, right? I can't let Victor take over when Zaya is the one that's supposed to be making the decision. When it comes to the business, when it comes to like YouTube and stuff like that, sometimes Victor be like, man, fuck that nigga. Tell him how you feel. Curse him out. Call him every name in the book. The thing is that if I do that, eBay could read those messages, I actually did that not too long ago. When I lose control, I'll let people know when I lose control. It's not like a major lose control, but like, I might cuss a hick out. Do you know that there was a nigga trolling me on Whatnot? And I cussed that nigga the fuck out. You know what that nigga did? He reported me to Whatnot. That nigga reported me to Whatnot. Okay? And over here, in my mind, I'm thinking, but, it's not like they keep the streams up. Like, but the thing is that they have access to the streams. That taught me that, oh shit, once the streams are done, Whatnot still has access to those streams. Okay? So I've been trying to contain myself. Like, Just make sure the business is good. Sometimes you don't got to stick it. The thing is that I like to stick it to niggas, right? Pause. There's also a part of me that, like, I want you to know that I did it to you. You know? Yeah, and maybe that just makes me a sick pup or something like that. I want to fuck you over, but I don't want it to be a secret. I want you to know, nigga, that I did that to you. Okay? You know? I don't want it to be unclaimed. I like to claim my shit. You know, and maybe that works against me sometimes. I want to do it to you, nigga. I want you to know that I did it to you. So the person sends that. I see the negative feedback. And, you know, in my mind, I'm like, well, I did block him. Yeah, 100%. Okay. First and foremost, I don't want to do business with someone with your type of mentality. I just don't. Like, you want me to wait? Like, you want me to hold or something like that? Like, I already know how that ends up working out. You know, I did it to avoid any more issues. Like, you know, this is already an issue with this person. You know, God forbid this happens again. Like, you know, why? Just block it and just move forward. You know, like I'm just on my block tip, or like that. That's the only way at this point, because if I retaliate to try to make myself feel better, you're just going to flag me, whether it be on YouTube, eBay, whatnot. That's what hoe higgers do. They troll you. You out troll them. Imagine that. There's no better troll than me. Okay. You don't see, like, Higgins being here all the time talking about, Zaya, your numbers are low. Do you know why that is? Because I trolled the trolls the fuck out of here. Literally. I literally got Higgins the fuck out of here. Higgins that you don't even know who's on the other side of the computer. You have that up on me. You know who I am. You know what I look like. You could clown everything about me. But my shit hits. My shit hits. You either end up leaving, you know, or you try to report me or something. So I've realized that about myself. You know, that I have to kind of cool back on the revenge. I'm definitely a person that loves revenge. I love it. I absolutely love it, bro. My listen, you know, Controller has said this numerous of times, you know, that she hopes, you know, Higgins find, you know, what makes them happy. Giving you a hard time makes me happy, though. You know, like when I see Controller lose, nigga, I'm happy. I'm happy. You know why? Because you tried to play me. When you do something to me, I'm going to do it 10 times worse back to you. I've always said this. I don't say it to sound cool. I don't say it because I'm even trying to sound like a bully, because I don't consider myself a bully at all. How the fuck am I the bully if a nigga fucks with me and then I fuck with them back? Right? Like, to me, a bully is a person that just goes looking to fuck with people just to do it. I don't fuck with people just to do it. No, nigga, I fuck with niggas that fuck with me. And then I lock in on you and I go overboard. Now, that is something that I'll take accountability for. If you kick me, I'm going to kick you 10 times. I'm going to punch you 10 times. I'm going to trip you. You know, I'm going to call you names. You're going to say, but damn, is this justified? I just kicked you once. You shouldn't have even kicked me. You know, like, it's just, I only know how to be me. And I feel like I'm honest in telling people who I am. And people just take it as, you know what it is? You become defiant. You think that I'm trying to sun you. And I'm really not. I'm trying to tell you that, bro, listen, I'm going to end up doing this to you. Man, Zay, you ain't, man, you pussy. Like, you ain't doing that. All right. And then when I'm doing it, man, what the hell's the matter with this nigga? This, you know, this nigga crazy. Man, what's the, man, you obsessed. Man, I'm saying, I told you I was going to do this. I told you. You know? I told you. So they leave the negative feedback, right? And they're correct. I did block them. But I'm just like, damn, bro, like, that's fucked up, man. You know, like, it almost sounds like the only reason that you're giving me the negative feedback is because I blocked you, right? If you listen to that. I told him I understood, but that I'm a serious buyer. You know, to me, that says, what he wanted to happen was, he said he understood, I canceled, but then he's going to get another chance to buy the sneaker, right? Because if he lists it for 5 more days, I'm going to get paid on Friday. I'll bid on it again. And who knows? You know, he might have got into a back and forth with someone. Who knows? I could have got more money out of this situation. But the thing is that I got to make a decision in the moment. So I said, you know what? I don't want to deal with this type of person no more. Bang. And I just hit him with the block. Bang, he gone. Right? So I told him I understood, but that I was a serious buyer, which he didn't. Seller reposted for bid another 5 days and blocked me from any further bidding or purchasing of any items that they are selling. Okay, maybe they were looking at other items. You know, like, you know, once you get blocked, you can't even see, like that person can't even look me up no more. That person can't look my shit up, nothing whatsoever. Okay, so, you know what I mean? I'm like, damn, that, you know, that's kind of fucked up. And, you know, at least from what I know, you know, you've already displayed that you violated 2 eBay policies. The first policy is that, bro, it's an immediate pay. Okay, you wanted to change you wanted to change the dynamic of what the deal was after the fact. Okay, that's number one. That's a policy violation. The second policy violation is that, bro, you can't use feedback to be retaliatory. All right. Do you know? And you know, most of you guys, if you know eBay, then you know this. You know, at one point in time, it was a two-way street as far as feedback. You know that that's no longer, right? Me as the seller, there's not even an option for me to leave negative feedback for the buyer. The buyer can leave negative feedback for me. I can't do shit. All I could do is, that eBay allows now, is that wherever the person leaves you negative feedback, I can reply and put my reply underneath your negative feedback. But I can't leave you negative feedback because at one point in time, there were sellers that were being retaliatory with the feedback. So they got rid of that altogether. Okay, so I looked and I said, bro, you're being retaliatory with the feedback, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like that. Like, this wasn't necessary right here, you know, but you felt like it because you feel a certain type of way because you got blocked. No self-accountability that you earned it. You earned it. You talking about, you know, can you hold something for 5 more days? And then knowing my luck, nigga, in 5 days, I got to go look for you to get my money. And then you're going to be telling me you need more time to pay. No, I don't want to deal with people like you. So I just block it and just move forward. All right. So now there's an option, right, on eBay for you to, there's an option on eBay where you can go directly through eBay for them to look at the feedback and then make a decision on whether it should stay there or it should be deleted. You know, there's also another option where you can ask for the person that left you the feedback to revise it. Okay. I can't even remember. I remember one time I got negative feedback in HS3, right? And the negative feedback was a Harry Potter bag that I had gotten from Universal, that the bag, bro, the material is just trash. Pebby's will tell you, because Pebby's had one of the bags. She used the bag maybe 2-3 times and the leather was already ripping. Okay, that's bad quality on the bag, right? But the feedback is based off of the seller, my actions as a seller. Did I communicate with you? If you had questions, did I answer them? Did I ship it on time? Did I package it well? You know, like, that is what the feedback is based off of for the seller. If the bag is trash, how is that my fault? So I got left negative feedback, and I had negative feedback for a whole year, my nigga. You know, and this was during a time because eBay just did that thing now where if the buyer doesn't do nothing, it just gives you positive feedback. eBay just started doing that. So during that time that I got the negative feedback, no, I sat there, you know, with negative feedback and barely any positive feedback because niggas don't leave no damn feedback, you know, and who knows how that affects? Who knows how many people might have said, well, I want to buy, but, you know, and hopefully, like, I just want to say this, right? Being a person that received negative feedback 2 times and both times were unfair, my advice to you is read the feedback, right? Read the feedback. Think about what the person is saying. On the negative feedback that I got in HS3 for the bag, the person literally said that I did everything right, but that the bag started falling apart after 3 days. And I said, I get it, but like, how was that my fault? Like, I didn't design the bag. You know, I get it if I sold you an ETC shirt and then, you know, and even, you know, if I design an ETC shirt, yes, someone else made the shirt, but I'm responsible for it because it's my shirt. But the bag is not mine. I bought it and I resold it to somebody. That person knew that. They left me negative feedback. All right. So again, there are two options that you can take when getting negative feedback. You can hit the buyer up and ask for a revision, or you can just go directly through eBay. Now, the thing is that even on the one that I got in HS3, I didn't fight it. You know, I should have fought it, but I didn't fight it. I said, fuck it, nigga. I just kept it moving. I was tight, but so in this one, I said, no. Hold on. No way. I didn't do anything wrong in this. How the fuck am I going to get negative feedback from this? So I said, let me try to reach out. My intention was to go directly through eBay. I ain't going to hold you. I never even done this before. So I fucked up and made the mistake. And I actually sent the revision, not the... I'm supposed to just go through eBay. I don't even want to talk to this person no more. I already know that they're being unfair. I was supposed to go directly through eBay. Instead, moving too fast, I sent the revision. But what I'm saying in the revision, it's as if I'm talking to eBay. Literally, I said, you know, like, I said, you know, the person has all this right. What they're saying is right, you know, like, but like, you know, my stuff is on immediate pay. The person wanted 5 more days to make a payment. You know, I told them that I wasn't interested in that. They said that they understood. And yeah, I blocked them because I don't want to deal with this, you know, this type of a person that thinks like this, that you could just buy something and then be asking for someone to hold it for more time. You know, like, no offense. I don't want to do business with you. It doesn't mean that I hate you. It just means that I don't want to do business with someone like you. Okay, you have like a bad habit, something that I feel like is a bad habit, and it's only a matter of time before you do it again. So I blocked them. So I sent that, and I didn't realize that I didn't send it to eBay. I sent it as a revision. I only realized it afterwards, and I said, "Oh fuck," you know, that goes to him. So I tried to see if I could just retract that. It wasn't. I said, "Fuck it." So I went to eBay and I started filling out the one for eBay. I said the same thing that I said to him. I said it to eBay and I sent it on its way, right? I get an update. Hoping that it's from eBay. No, I get an update that the Higa added to the revision. That nigga added. Okay? Here's the added. Well, I'm going to give you the whole, because he kept the whole message and then he added more onto it. He said, won an item in bid. Before winning, I reached out and asked for roughly 4 to 5 days more to submit payment. Seller declined, canceled my order. I told him I understood, but that I'm a serious buyer. Seller reposted for bid for another 5 days and blocked me from any further bidding or purchasing of any items that they are selling. Here's the added part. Wouldn't have been a big deal had he not restricted me from bidding, making offers, or paying outright for any of his items. You waited another 5 days by putting it up for bid. Okay? So now I'm looking at this and I'm like, bro, like, if you wasn't clear as day before that you was being retaliatory, my nigga, you're obviously, you're telling me right now, you would have never even gave me negative feedback had I not blocked you. But there's no accountability that I blocked you because of what you did. Like, come on, bro. You know, in life, bro, like, and again, like, you know, a lot of times we used to go through this, like, you know, back in like 2019, 2020, you know, I'd get a lot of people. Matter of fact, like, shout to Ronzo the Alter Ego, individuals like Trollmageddon, Retro Young, you know, these tickets would tell me, but Zaya, but you could hold Ronzo the Alter Ego accountable, you know? And that's when I started realizing that there's a reason why it's called self-accountability, not just accountability. Okay, the accountability is within oneself. Maybe you think that I could hold him accountable, but how is that? How can I make Ronzo the alter ego a better person than he is? I can't. He would have to listen to what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Really what those people wanted to say was, Zaya, you have the power to kick him. So just do it. And that's where I was just like, well, that's not fair. I'm saying kick him. He don't show face. I'm saying there's a lot of niggas around here that don't show face. So if I start kicking him, then the next thing is I'm going to have to kick all these other people. Okay? Matter of fact, the both of y'all, there have been instances where even y'all have popped up and your camera is off. But Zaya, but I'm willing to turn the camera on. Okay, that's cool. But still, again, you're asking for there to be some sort of self-accountability, some sort of accountability. The thing is that you're deliberately keeping self out of that because self falls on him. You want it to fall on me because I got the power to just hit block, So, again, self-accountability. This nigga didn't have no self-accountability. He earned getting blocked by his actions that he said, all right, well, you want to block me? Well, I know what I'm going to do to you. Sounding like a fucking bitter baby mamas out there. I'm going to take you for child support. Right? That's what happens. I get it. In a relationship, you go your separate ways, you have a kid. And you constantly, can you help? Can you, I need money for diapers. And never get it fucking twisted. We are going 50-50 on that baby. Just because the baby is with me, that means that you pick up all the financial negative. Okay? Negative. I get it if you got to hound a nigga for some Pampers. I get it if you got to hound a nigga to participate. Okay, cool. Take his ass for child support. But not, you disrespected me? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, you be taking care of your kid, but I know what I'm going to do to you. I'm going to take you for child support. Yeah. You're just being retaliatory. Okay? So, obviously, by this time that he sends the revision, again, I've already hit eBay up. I ain't going to hold you. When I seen the revision, I said, nigga, I'm reporting your ass again. I went to eBay, but the thing is that they're not going to just let you send reports after report. It's one report. That's it. So I said, oh, well, I can't do nothing now. Okay. That was, all this began on Thursday when I got the negative feedback and it might've been Friday. It had to be Friday early. And then by the time I actually sent the request to eBay, it had to have been maybe after 5 or 6, because, Saturday I get the revision back and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Why is taking eBay so fucking long, bro? Just can't someone look at this? Sunday, I'm like, what the hell? And then realize on Sunday after I looked it up that eBay is technically closed on the weekends, at least the people that do this. So I was like, I'll just wait till Monday. I just got to be patient, but at the same time, I'm bothered because again, I'm running a business. So if other people are coming by, they see the negative feedback. Now, here's the thing though. His feedback, where he left, I'm prepared. eBay tells me we're not taking that down. Fuck it. Leave it there. Hopefully people read it and they see that I didn't do anything to this guy. They see that the person left negative feedback because he felt a certain type of way that I blocked him. All right. Hopefully people look at that and say, well, that's not reflective of the seller. Look, the seller has 280 positive feedback and this one guy. Come on. So I'm like, all right, cool. So then today I wake up, it's still there. I'm just like, all right, cool. So shout outs to, cause what I did was I said, well, I know that YouTube, and this is a little secret, right? On YouTube, a lot of times you could get shit looked at if you need it to get looked at quickly, if you go through X. If you go through YouTube support on X, you can get something looked at and you might even be able to get something resolved faster than if you just follow through YouTube. So what I did was I said, well, does eBay have an X? Come to find out they don't. They actually shut that down. eBay doesn't do customer service through X at all. Don't even bother. What they do is they do it through Instagram. I said, all right, cool. So I went into Instagram. You send them a DM. And then they start talking to you through the system where you just kind of talk back. So I kind of walked them through it. They asked for the item number. I showed it to them and I said, I'm saying if you look, here's another thing that people don't get. And don't bother to be deleting messages either, because eBay could see the deleted messages. eBay could look at your DMs. You went back and forth with the person. I said, like if you look at the messages and you look at, what the feedback is, like, I feel like the person's being unfair. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong that I think I did. Like, and if I did something wrong, then that's fine. I'll accept the negative feedback and I'll move on. That's the thing. Like, if I did something wrong, then and I have to take the hit for me doing something wrong, I'm self-accountable. I'll take the hit. But if I didn't do nothing wrong and you're just being a fucking dickhead, then no, nigga, like, I'm going to fight, nigga. I'm going to follow through. Okay? And that's what I did today. All right? As of right now, that feedback has been deleted. I do not have any negative feedback on my account. Okay? That person took a fucking L. Now, here's the thing, right? Because literally it happened. I was right next to Pebby's. Peep game, Pete, right? I was right next to Pebby's. I said, yo, Pebby's, they're going to take it down. She said, yo, good job, good job following through. I said, yo, I'm about to message that nigga and tell him, you lost, bitch ass. And Pebby's like, don't do that, And then I was like, you know what? You're right. Okay? Because, yeah, I'm a revenge person, man. I like getting revenge. I like it, But sometimes you got to just accept the win. You just got to take the win. Okay? I wanted to go in there and say, yo, fuck boy. Guess what? They took the shit down, bitch boy. And I literally just dropped off the sneakers because technically, while all this has been happening, the auction already ended. Again, if you're not following me, the very sneaker that we're talking about, the size 17 Wolf Gray 6, remember, I relisted it. Well, guess what? Because he was blocked, he never got to get back in there and get a bid in. And someone actually bid. Now, nobody else bid. I sold it for $59. What's the difference? $3 from, had he won, and it was ironic that as the person is telling me, yo, we looked at it and it is unfair. We're going to delete it, and the person even said, you've been doing a good job. You've been doing a good job. Your shipping is fast. You get positive feedback, and the thing is that while I've been complaining about people not leaving feedback, I just want to say that at least in the last couple of months, at least for me, people have been leaving feedback. The people that don't, eBay ends up giving me that positive feedback. So what they're doing is they're looking at all that feedback and they're saying, nah, what we're looking at, you're doing well, you're selling. It quite frankly, has been, it's been pretty consistent, at least for me, going from an instance where, maybe HS3, I had gone a couple of months without selling something on eBay, at least. As far as like eBay, like in the last, 6 months to a year, like I've been consistently selling things every month. You know what I'm saying? So like, they was like, yo, you did a good job. You're doing a good job. When you drop off the packages and when scans and all that type of stuff, everything looked good. Keep up the good work. We're going to take this off because this definitely is unfair towards you. And I said, yo, thank you. Literally, as I'm saying thank you, I'm literally handing the box with the size 17 sneaker in it to Walgreens, because that's where they scan it so that it could go to the new customer. Okay? Okay, he would have left another review saying seller laughed at me and called me a fuckboy. No. I think once they do that, you can't leave any more feedback. That's it. The transaction's done with me and that person. I think I skipped this part right here. Small part, which was my reply, right? Because at remember I said, when a buyer leaves a seller negative feedback, a seller can't then leave them negative feedback. The most that you could do is you could reply under the negative feedback. So I replied under the negative feedback. All right. And it was there. It's been there the whole time, this whole weekend, while I've been waiting to see what happens. I said, imagine violating eBay's policy on immediate payment, getting blocked for wasting a seller's time, and then violating eBay's policy on using the feedback system to be retaliatory towards the seller to avoid self-accountability? Hopefully eBay recognizes this and corrects this new buyer's behavior. They had like 8 feedback or some shit like that. Where am I? Hopefully eBay recognizes this and corrects this new buyer's behavior. But if they don't, I'll gladly stand my position with the negative feedback. The sneakers still sold. I still got paid. eBay would be a way better platform without individuals with this style of mentality. Okay, so that's going to be the last thing that person remembers from me. Now, knowing how the world works, that person, like technically I got the W, right? And, at least from what I've seen from people, and I don't expect nothing less, Higgins don't like taking L's, man. Higgins don't like taking L's, nigga. I know, bro. That Higga right there, nigga, that Higga gonna find a way to find me, man. Okay? That Higga gonna find a way to find me. And that is why, even though this has to do with sneakers, and this should be on Sneaker Scandals, this is why I did it on this channel. You know why? Because this channel is the exact name of my eBay. So I hope that fuckboy finds this. I couldn't do it in the eBay messages, but I'm doing it here. Na 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 na. Fuck boy. Huh? How that L feel? How that L feel, bitch? And you didn't get the sneakers. Fuck out of here. This was all strategically done. There was a reason why I went live right here. Okay? I hope that Higga doesn't accept the L. And he says, man, I'm going to find this Higga. And he puts a daily struggle into the search. All you got to do is a Google search of a daily struggle, right? My YouTube's going to pop up. I'm even thinking about putting the Higga's name in the damn title. So he knows it's about him. And then he comes and he watches this entire stream. And you never know. Maybe he takes the link. And then I could say it to him. I'm saying to him, my nigga, like, hey, you do some fuckboy shit and then I'm the bad guy? No. Come and get me. Fuck that Higga, man. So now, look, because I was at 282 on my feedback, right? So remember, I told y'all, I check my feedback every day. I was expecting to see 283. When I looked, it said 281 and I had the negative feedback, right? Now that his shit got taken out, my shit went from 281 to 283. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Now, I just got to hope that this sneaker that I got, my damn yin yangs. If they sell for 175, I'm gonna be a little heartbroken, man. But it is what it is, man. I know that I paid anywhere between retail. I either paid $39.99. I just don't remember where exactly I got them. If it was from clearance or if it was from I don't know which of the two I got it from. Let me say that. That's the better way of saying it. I don't know if I got it from clearance or if I got it retail. I did not pay resale for those. Okay, so, and I just want to say that, if it has to be said, YouTube, this is not marijuana. Okay, this is THCA, purchasable from the gas station. Okay, just to make sure we clarify that. Your boy out here smoking the gas station weed. Yeah, so. I guess we'll see, man. We'll see how. But I know definitely I'm already in the green, bro. You know what I mean? It sucks because the market calls for them to go for 300 plus, and if they end up selling for 175, like after the eBay fees, I'm thinking I'm gonna get what, probably like 140, 130. Yikes. But I already told myself that I'm willing to take the chance on these last couple of pairs. You know, like, you know, when it comes to reselling and, you know, I know it. Listen, mama, listen, and mama, you know your boy ain't lying. When it comes to the concept of reselling, you know, over 20 years of reselling, you know, like I've won, I would say my percentage is 95 plus as far as winning, taking an item, buying it for a price, and then selling it for a profit versus buying an item and then you sell it and then you lose money. You know, I don't really lose like that. You know, but in reselling, you have to know that, you know, at some point you might lose. Shout to New York Dad, Pebbies, salutes. So, yeah, I'm happy to say another hater has been defeated. You know, because that Higa wasn't doing it because I gave him bad service. The Higa did it because he was a hater. So now that I was able to give him the L, he deserved it, bro. He deserves it. You know, I feel better. I feel great, you know. And I want to say, you know, shout outs to Tiffany, okay? Whoever she may be. I don't know her, but that was the rep that helped me, okay? She did a great job. She handled it quick. You know what I'm saying? I told her, yo, I appreciate her. You know, she said, yo, you think you could do a survey? You damn right, nigga. Send me the survey, nigga. I'll do it. Right? And then after the survey, she wished me a beautiful Monday. Yo, I hope you have a great Monday, this, that, and that. Listen, the Monday is great because of you, Tiffany. Salute to Tiffany. All right? Over at eBay. All right? Matter of fact, eBay, but the Instagram side. I don't know if that's a difference. You know, salute to, you know, I feel like the social media kind of helps a lot of these platforms because I'm like, I think I hadn't even gotten any word or anything from eBay and it was already Monday. Like, you know, maybe it would have been like Tuesday, Wednesday that they would have got back to me. But like, man, I was able to hit the individual on Instagram. They gave me a link. They said, yo, this will sign you into the account. Bang, you sign in. Bang, it takes you right back to it. And then, you know, hey, which one are we looking at? Bang, I showed her. She said, all right, well, let me just go through it real quick. Just, you know, give me a couple of minutes. I said, all right. You know? And then yo instantly came back. Matter of fact, let me tell you exactly what she said. Where my Instagram at? Okay. Yeah, no problem at all. I did a review of the feedback and I see the comment they made. I do appreciate you letting us know that you blocked them. That is actually the perfect move to do. I'm happy to get the feedback removed. You will see it off within 24 hours. However, I have seen it taken off within 10 to 20 minutes, which that's actually what happened. You've been doing such a great job. You've been doing such a great job, and I appreciate you doing all you can to get this resolved. Continue to push forward. Thank you for reaching out to eBay customer support, Tiffany. Right? And then she gave me, we'd love to, we'd love it if you could take a moment to let us know how your experience was with eBay. Take a survey. Say, hell yeah. Right? Said, no problem. I'm glad I was able to help. Thank you so much for reaching out, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, Tiffany. And I said, my day is only great because of you. Winky face. Right? Shout out to Tiffany, man, for making shit fucking shake, Higga. You feel me? You got to respect when a Higga can make shit shake. Now, here's the thing, though. Make shit shake. Don't get it twisted as if, like, you know, like I convinced her and no, hell no. Like, you know, like if you just look at the transaction, bro, like he was doing it unfairly. The L that I handed that person today, matter of fact, you know what the person's name is? I don't know their name. I'm not going to put their name out. What's the, let me see what the, Keylie 5978. Keylie. Yo, Keylie. Huh? Bro, you can't be telling niggas to hold your shit for a week, and then when they don't want to, you start trying to use the feedback system on eBay to, you know, try to fuck with a nigga business, man. What type of shit is that? That's what you did. That's what you did. You put negative feedback, you know, in hopes that it would, you know, mess my business up. But, you know, it ain't, in all honesty. I'll keep it 100, bro. Like, I don't even think people even take that feedback system as important as they used to. That's just my opinion. I feel like it's less now. If a nigga could get a deal, man, they don't give a fuck about your motherfucking feedback, bro. You know, now, like, maybe if you got like, you know, matter of fact, I stand on that. You know why? Because I kind of already felt like that. And something that I seen yesterday, I said, yo, bro, look, this is exactly what you was talking about. I found a shirt, right, that I really, really want. I don't know why. I need to stop, but I have an addiction. I'm addicted to t-shirts. Even if I don't end up getting to wear them, you know, it's like sneakers, you know. Matter of fact, you know, I can look now because at the time that I was deeply involved in sneakers, I still was involved in t-shirts, but my mentality was that the addiction was stronger for sneakers. I'm here to tell you now that the addiction for sneakers has slowed down and the one for t-shirts has not. So, like, I guess at some point in time, I was trying to paint to y'all that, you know, maybe I was a junkie on like heroin and I was finally kicking the bucket and I ain't doing that no more and I'm going to get right. I forgot to tell you that I'm also addicted to like crack, which is t-shirts, bro. Like, you know, I got to stop though. I literally was telling myself that today, like, yo, bro, stop. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Stop because you're going broke and, you know, like you're gonna, you know, like you're gonna get tossed in the streets because you can't pay your bills. Like, no, not at all. Never. There's nothing, you know, not even drugs. You know that? Well, again, this is a belief that I have. My mom and my dad were both drug addicts, right? Technically, my dad was the drug addict, and my dad technically introduced my mom to drugs. But then my mom gets hooked on, so they're both drug addicts, right? I almost feel like the combination of two drug addicts turned me into a person that can easily get addicted, but almost just as easily stop. Okay? There's nothing that I've ever touched. Now, don't get me wrong, right? Because in knowing that about myself, I don't take it for granted, right? So I've always told myself I would never try crack. Never. Never, no. Not experimental, nothing. You know? If anything, I always told myself that my list consisted of weed, shrooms, and acid. Acid only one time though. You know, because I know acid is like really bad for people. But I always told myself, yo, just one time I want to try it. Just once. I was willing to gamble. I gambled and not for me. You know, I can't see myself doing that like every day. Shrooms, amazing. I see myself doing that every day. That's scary. So I stay away from it. Right? I stay away from it. Because shrooms, like, it's a good feeling that you get. You know, it's and especially my trip was a good trip. So, like, you know, I was always like, when's the next one? You know, but I always kept on saying, but damn it just feels too good. In life, when something feels too good, bro, like you almost got to get it out your life. It can't be too good. If it's too good, it could take over, you know? Now, those were on my list. The one that was never on my list that I ran across, I had a good time. I had a really messed up moment. Two really messed up moments. I had a good time most of it, but I don't feel like it actually hits me the way that it hits me, and is Coke. You know, because Coke, you're supposed to get the drip. You know, if you know, you know. You know, you're supposed to get the drip when you're sniffing. And I don't necessarily get the drip. You know, I get whatever else you get with getting into your system. But the drip is the real part. The drip is the part that when that shit go down, everything start kind of like, whoa. You know? So I already know I couldn't be a cokehead every day. You know? Not for me. All right? Acid? No, not for me. What's the other one? Ecstasy was a good one. But I used to do ecstasy when I was younger. You know, when we did ecstasy, that shit was like a 24-hour trip. Now ecstasy is like a 3-hour trip, 2-hour trip. You know, back then, 24 hours? And Higgins was ready to go in again? Crazy. So, going down the list, right? Because again, the point is that I don't feel like I could get addicted like that. Right? Or let me rephrase it. I definitely get addicted, but I have very good self-control. Okay? Now, what is perceived my self-control, meaning someone else's opinion, man, say, hey, man, you not that. You can't tell me, you know? And I'm honest. So I feel like if I couldn't control myself, I would tell you. But I know that I can. I know that I could just turn it off whenever I want. I turn it off and on. Sneakers, shirts, weed. You know, I don't have to smoke weed. There's people that like, let's be for real. There's some of y'all out there, you have to. There's some of y'all out there, you know who I know is like the real weed head? The nigga that smokes before going to work. I'm like, what? Damn, nigga, I can't go to work high. Work? You're going to smoke to the job and then you're going to walk in the job? You know you smell like weed though, right? Nah, I don't smell like weed. That's what any weed person says. The thing is that you don't smell it. You don't know that. You don't know that. Even if you, yeah, but I do smell it. Yeah, but your nose don't smell it the way the nose of a person that don't smoke weed smells it. Even if it's just like a whiff. You smell that? Bitch. Is that bitch high? Is she on the phone talking to customers? High? That shit crazy, right? Or you get the person, I can only imagine being a boss to one of these people, right? You get the person that walks in, they smell like heavy perfume, heavy cologne. And you look at them and their eyes is bloodshot. Nigga, who lied to you? Niggas know you high, bro. They know you high. Everybody knows you high. You know? And to me, like, that's like a place that you ain't supposed to really be playing with that. Right? Because, like, I might say right now, some of y'all are listening to me and y'all laughing. Yo, for real, say that. But, nigga, I'm not laughing, nigga. Like, that's mad irresponsible, bro. You know, to go to work high, where they know you're high. You know, it's one thing if they don't know you're high, but if they know you're high, and then there's just so many ways. I'm talking about the weed smoker. Because the weed smoker, like, there's no way to get around it. There's no way. Listen, matter of fact, I got another one. Because the weed smoker right now is typing. Go ahead, delete it. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what it is, what you was about to write. Okay? Yeah, but Zaya, I get the perfume or the cologne, and then I do the eye drops. All right, cool. You're not bloodshot. But my nigga, you're tired the whole day? You know, at some point in time, even when you wake up, whatever your eyes are adjusted to when you, bro, they're gonna open up within like, you know, like, come on, like 20, 30 minutes. Like, let's be for real. Some of y'all get like a little puffy, right? When you wake up, take you a little extra time. But me, I think I'm good within 30 minutes. You know, whatever my eyes are right now, that's where they go to. If you're high, my nigga, your eyes ain't gonna change. So even if they're not glossy, I'm looking at you, nigga. If you're like, okay, I let you slide when you first walked in here because it was like, you know, 7:45 in the morning. You're trying to get in your seat by 8. But it's 11. It's 11. And you sound stupid because that's another thing that people that are high don't understand. That, bro, you sound dumb to a nigga that's not high. I get puffy when I wake up, but my puff go down. I'm just trying to say that, like, if you're high, cause like, let's be for real. None of y'all out here are going to say that you smoke booth Every single one of you motherfuckers out here is going to tell me that you smoke gas. So if you smoke gas and a person that is not high can't tell that you high, it might not be gas. You ever thought about that? Right? Because gas is supposed to have you like, you're not even supposed to be able to go to work smoking gas. And that's what you niggas is going to tell me, that you smoke gas. They like, really, D? Do you? Do you smoke it before you go to work? You probably are not smoking gas. And if you are, that's the part that we originally started with, where I'm telling you, bro, that's mad irresponsible. You know they can fire you for that, right? You under the influence while talking to, customers, like in any sense, right? On the phone, face to face. What does your job do? How close to the customer do you get? Even a technician. Technician, you're crazy. You're going into multiple. That's why, listen, when I got the job at the cable company, nigga, I quit. Again, one of the points that I'm trying to make. Weed, I smoke, like, right? But like, I'll turn this motherfucker off. Again, I'll go months. No smoking. Katie, I don't smoke. I don't like feeling tired and having no energy. Now, that's the thing, though. There's levels to this shit now. You might have gave up. Have you ever smoked? You might have gave up on it when it was buying the nickel bag. I'm from that day. You bought the nickel bag, and again, they might not have been saying gas, but like back then everybody says that they got the best shit. But you don't know. That motherfucker could have got that shit from, a plane in his crib. Now there's levels though. Because now that they got the dispensaries and shit like that, they got the different levels where the one that is tired and no energy is a separate one. Just don't smoke that. Okay? Which is the indica. Now, if you get yourself, what's the other one? Sativa, then you're not tired. You know what I mean? You might have energy. You might be, that's the one that I smoke. I do sativas. Or I'll mess with like a hybrid, but the indica is not the one that I really like. And I don't smoke before I go to work. In any instance, like that's what I gave up on. I don't do that. I did that like back in the day. But like now I know that the weed, regardless of whatever one it is, it's not gonna keep me on the focus that I need, that I feel like is what you need to complete work. So I don't blend those two. Perfect example, HBOs. HBOs, that was to me like work. Because you got to be paying attention to mad stuff that's going on, and with the questions, paying niggas out, all that type of stuff. There's money involved. There's donos ringing. There's people deducting points. There's, and we live. So at any point in time, like if a Higa gets it wrong, everybody going to see this shit. So I always told myself there's no smoking before an HBO. I might have smoked on one HBL and realized, oh shit, hold on, there's mad mistakes that could get made like this. You know what I'm saying? So no smoking before the HBO. That was one of my rules. No matter what, because, all weed is weed, bro. It's still going to get you high. Yeah, I even had my, I smoked before I even had my card for the dispensary in Arkansas. I told him I want something that doesn't make me tired. But it all does the same shit to me. Weed just ain't for me. Hey, they lost you, man. It's all good. You what? You like better what to drink? I won't ask you about any of the other ones because people are too critical in these areas. To me, the ones that you always ask anybody is, do you smoke or do you drink? It don't be until later. You be hanging out with a Higa. A Higa reach for some next shit. Like, oh, okay. I always hit him with the what was Pop's name? I think his name was Pops, right? From Friday. When you see a Higa whip some shit out, oh, they be like, yo, what's up, man? You getting in on this? Nope. Okay. No, thank you. All right. I do the weed. I prefer to drink though, drink beer though. We drinking beer all night, man. Alcohol, y'all niggas know me, man. I need that motherfucking 10 spot, nigga. I don't care where we at. I do this though. And I think it's because of Pez's ass, because Pez be doing this shit. She got me doing it now. The celebrating shot. Yo, we taking a shot. I think the last one now don't get me wrong. I'm not mad at the celebration, but Pebs has got me to that point where I do the celebration dono, or at least the celebration shot for the free ski. I think we did one for B Best birthday, right? Something like that. You know what I mean? But anything other than that, you talking about you want to hang out, nigga, and take shots? No. You got to pay me, bro. Online, offline. I'm not sitting around with you with a bottle, just all night, just be taking those shots. Hell no, bro. That shit is disgusting. Okay? Alcohol is absolutely disgusting. None of them are good. None of them. None of them. At least nothing you're taking a shot. You might be able to make a drink and say, oh shit, this shit tastes good. A shot? When has a person ever take a shot and been like, oh shit, that's just nothing that, it's just sweet? No. All alcohol tastes like shit. Fuck want to do that all night. Be drinking that nasty ass shit. Beer at least has flavor. When you move around through the IPAs and stuff like that, you get yourself some nice flavor. You ain't getting no motherfucking flavor off no goddamn taking no damn shots. So, that should feel like fucking slave work. I need to get paid, bro. Okay? I need to get paid. Beer, I always drink for free. I'd love to get paid to drink beer. Get pretty on the weekends. Oh my God. I remember when I used to be the line. You were hoping that came in on like a Wednesday, like Thursday. Yo, what y'all doing this weekend? I'm saying, nigga, you trying to get pretty? It sounds like you trying to get pretty. You feel me? Like, why you asking what I'm doing on the weekends? Yeah. Sometimes you got to make sure though. So now, obviously at one point in time, I subscribed to the getting pretty on the weekend, movement. And, just discussing, I'm just thinking about, who were my confidants during this time, right? My baby mamas. Okay. My baby mamas and her homeboy from work. I'm trying to think. I wonder if she were they working or I think she may have got fired or I don't know. But I remember by Wednesday, sometimes a nigga will tell you, shit, he getting pretty on Sunday. And he's telling you, I'll be back next week. So you already know. You coming next week? All right, no doubt. But, you would, if you didn't hear about it right then and there, by Monday, the higga was, yo, we getting pretty this week. Tuesday, Wednesday. You don't hear a higga on Thursday. You know a higga probably ain't got it. He can't do it. I don't even know a time that, it wasn't established that, it was going down this weekend. You know what I mean? Now, I got to keep it 100, man. Okay? Having a counterpart like my baby mamas, who was a fucking cokehead, as I think of my pretty times, I think of a lot of conflict where, Higgins is in the bathroom too long. Is she going to come out? Yo, where's the bag at? It's in there. Get in there, nigga. Break the door in. Okay? Schnoz is going to, all of it. Break the door in, Higgy. Yo, open the door. Yeah, man, let us in. And I feel like every time we open the door, guilty as fuck, nigga. You feel me? Like, get in there. How much is left? Oh my God. Maybe so bad that, you almost got to press her. She got to buy the next bag. Motherfuckers trying to eat off of 120. No, Papa. At some point, niggas got to have their own bags. I got to keep my bag on me. Nah, nigga. You feel me? Hopefully a motherfucker ain't too fiended out. Because, you know, like when, you know, if he get like, there's still a possibility the friend could get got, right? Because he's trying to be a good friend. So he already, I know, is getting taken advantage of. But me, no. You know what I mean? You know, once I start seeing you like, yo, you got some left? Not for you. Okay? You might want to buy yourself another bag. You ain't about to tap mine. Okay? My baby mama's was a cokehead. Crazy. Crazy times. It was fun though. Man. You know, but we got to keep a spade a spade. You know, I ain't going to sit up in here and lie now. Cokehead. You know, make sure you keep tabs on the bag. Or else you might end up with nothing. You know? And then you never know. Because she definitely one of them people that, yeah, I ain't got it for the next 20. And you like, what the fuck, bitch? Don't let me catch you licking the bag either. She was a bag licker, bruh. I know exactly what you're talking about. She was definitely a bag licker. And I think most are the rubbing it in your fucking gums and shit. Like, Hager, jeez. Calm down, man. Calm down. Yeah. But, you know, at the end of the day and all this, like, you know, the habits, whether it be smoking, it could be drinking, it could be t-shirts, it could be sneakers, Joker comic book covers, you know, like Funkos, fucking clothes, hoodies, sweatshirts. I think that's it, right? Toys, obviously. You know, like, I could turn it off immediately. You know, so mama on drugs, papa on drugs. You would think that when they create, they're going to create like a drug baby. You know, like Controller's baby. You know, drug baby. No. You know, actually, I feel like I developed a superpower that I can't get addicted. They be chewing the bag like gum. That person right there, that's like poverty right there. You know, they 15, 20 minutes with the same bag and they like, my nigga, spit that out. What's the matter with you? You feel me? You trying to go into the fibers of the bag? That nigga trying to go into the motherfucking fibers of the bag to be fucked up. Holy shit. Crazy. All right, y'all. Any questions, bang? Any questions? I know there was some questions earlier, but I ain't taking no questions now when I'm in my zone, right? At some point, there'll come a time when a nigga can ask a question, right? But when a nigga in a zone, no questions. Put your hands down. You got to throw dollars up here for me to fucking interrupt this show. Yo, them damn crickets outside, them motherfuckers is loud as fuck. Yo, Pebs, Pebs ran over a fucking toad, bruh. Pebs, tell him about the toad you killed, man. Tell him. She left that nigga on the fucking ground with his fucking back blown out. That nigga looked crazy the other day. I walked by, I was like, oh, shit. And then fucking Bowser trying to fucking get over to this. Man, get away from that thing. That motherfucker dead. Splattered. Damn, that had to be crazy that you ran him over with the damn tire. Yo, Pep said, I put floating shelves up months ago and just realized they're upside down. Yo, if that's the case, then you might want to look, because I think because it's upside down, it might be that it's leaning forward. Because the other day, that nigga Bowser came right up to me and he had one of them little figures, and I was like, yo, where the fuck you get this from? Right? Because it's just not something I'm used to seeing him with. The little figure. I would know that little figure, that no, Pep's got that somewhere. Where that nigga get into? Sometimes I'll be, yo, Pep, you got to watch out. That nigga don't end up trying to get up there where the fridge is at and start fucking up that Chucky collection, bro. Ooh. Yo, Pep's got her Chucky collection in a spot where, yo, if Bowser could just get up there, like, he gonna tear all that shit up. And not like, it's just gonna get chewed on. He gonna chew on it, man. Damn, he fucked up my new Chucky tonight. I told you. Yeah, it is leaning forward and looking at them, and I'm like, what the fuck? And it's what? And it's because they upside down. I'll fix it tomorrow. All right, well, just know that, you know, at least one of them Higgins already done took the fall. And then it's funny because you really can't be mad at Bowser in a way, like the way that you have it set up now. Because if it falls right into the basket that is for Bowser's toys. So it has he thinking like, you threw this over here? You're cool with me chewing this shit? Oh, that's what's up. Because he's just seeing it in there. Remember, it's not like he's jumping up there to get it. It's falling into that spot. They gonna think that them toys is now to be chewing on and shit. Yeah. Yeah, I just thought about that. Yeah. I don't think Peppy's thought about that either. Like, you know, like that little toy set that she's collecting right there. It directly falls into Bowser's basket. You know what I mean? So like it's gonna be in there. Like you don't know that it's in there. He ain't jump up there to get it. So technically it's fair game. You know? And look, this is the type of person that Peppy's is. What she said? Wait. I'll fix it tomorrow. Yo, right now, the distance from where Pebs is at to where she got to fix it, it's nothing. It's like 3 steps. So imagine, Pebs is willing to say, I'm going to risk this whole night going into tomorrow at some point in time, if I remember to do it. I'm going to risk that more guys could fall off there and this could get the chewing on them Higgins. I'm going to risk it because I don't want to get up right now at this moment. Hello. Introducing Pebbles. Look, and she's saying that if the shelf fall, the Lego's going to fall and break. And she's telling you that she's going to do it tomorrow. But she's on the live and she's typing. Do you care about your Legos? You know, your actions right now don't depict that you care about the Legos and that, like, they mean something to you. Because you would say, no, oh shit, we got a major problem going on right now. That shelf, the little guys are falling off, and I love those little guys. I don't want them to get chewed. But then where they're falling, it's almost an acceptable spot to fall to get chewed. Right? Look, Peppy took, as all that time that Peppy took to make Legos, look at how she's willing to risk it. Peppy's don't feel very good today. She's typing, y'all. She's typing. You know? I wish you could see Peppy's room right now. I don't think it take that much. I'm saying you ain't got to fix the shelf. Just take the stuff off the shelf. Crazy. Come on, man. Girl talking about she don't feel good. That's fine. Listen, I don't give a damn about them Legos. They're not mine. I've been told you that your Chucky collection is and will always be, when in my presence, mid. Okay? Mid. Peppers, you want to have like a Joker, Chucky face-off? I will smoke you. You know? I'll show three items for every one of your item. And still have, you know, hella leftover. You don't want to see me, man. You don't want to see me on any day. So just, you know, always remain that you mid when you around your boy. Look, she got a whole... Wait, so you started putting the set up on that shelf? No. Last time I seen that shelf, it only had them little figures on them. Pebby's could have been done this. In the amount of time that we've been talking about it, she could have been just at least took the characters off. I don't really give a damn. You ain't gonna catch me letting Bowser chew on my shit. No, 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 no. Stop the cap. Zaya gave up his Joker Lego set. Incorrect. Incorrect. This is what I said though. Since you have to put me on the spot, I'm always willing to, come clean, right? What I said was that technically like Legos is something that is like building, correct? Now, don't get me wrong. I tried to do the Lego set. I got all the way to the part where the brain, the head is two pieces that supposed to connect, and then they're supposed to connect onto the bottom piece, which I already did. I actually did half the work. I did the whole bottom piece. The actual head though, you got to put the two head like that, bang, and it's supposed to click in, and mine doesn't stay. Like at some point, once this clicks in, you click in this way, but just even trying to hold this right here to click it in, it doesn't stay hooked on. It comes off. So it's obviously that I'm missing something. And I went back twice. So like at that point, like frustration was starting to build. I envisioned myself like breaking something, I envisioned not just something. If I ever break something, it'd be my own shit, right? But like, anything. I could have ripped my shirt. I could have I could have just took the Lego and just, I felt that starting to rise. And that's when it's just like, okay, this was a gift. This wasn't supposed to make me frustrated, right? This was a gift. I understand that I got halfway through. That just points out again that Legos, even building little stuff like that, that's not really my thing. I could try. I put in effort, but like, how many times am I? And this is why I don't do video games online, right? Shit talking, and you might get angry just in the moment. You angry at yourself for not being the best, and you smash some shit. And then when you smash it, it ends up costing you money. So if I feel that emotion coming, why am I going to continue feeding into it, right? And I look back and I already tried it twice. So what I said was, I didn't give it up. I said, Pez, technically, because it's a beautiful gift and it's for my brother, but my brother took your advice. You are the one that advised that would be a good gift. Oh, yo, you should get this. He didn't do that. Okay. For that, I feel like Pez should build it. Like, why should it have to stay in the box? Technically, Pez, you said that you would build it. You said just after the Charizard. You know that, right? So hopefully you ain't forgot about that. I didn't give it up to you. Once you finish building it, it's mine. You got to give it back to me. It's Joker, nigga. It's mine. But like, like you did recommend that gift. And, like, why should it not get done because you recommended it? In all honesty, had you not recommended that gift, I wouldn't have got that gift. Again, it's Joker. I love it, but like, I don't love Legos. Pebby's knew this though. Pebby's already knew this. This is to her probably what the funny part is. She knew that I didn't like Legos. She knew, right? But look, the combination, he not only does he not like Legos, but I'm gonna get his brother, right? Because so now the gift comes from because to me, the gift come from my brother. That's what even made me say, I'm gonna try. Other than that, look, I got Lego sets, and in all honesty, when I get it's not to open, it's to flip at some point in time. I don't got Lego sets to be putting together. That's your thing, Pebbies. And you tried to I don't want to say force, okay, but you recommended that gift, bro. You, okay. So since and here's the thing, right? It's not like I'm asking Pebs to do something she doesn't already like doing. Right? I'm just saying that, Pebbies, you got the skill. Come on, man. Let's get that shit built, nigga. You only got to build the head, technically. Because the bottom is totally built out. I did that part. Saying, you recommended it. You like Legos. Why shouldn't you finish it? And then don't ever recommend Legos again. Unless you're going to buy me like the Lego guy. I just need the guy, bro. Matter of fact, you could give me a Lego set. Just don't expect me to actually do the Lego set. I'm going to hold it because one day I'm sure it's going to be worth money because I'm a reseller. You know, I'm a reseller. You know, it's an okay business. You know, it's not a guarantee. Like, you know, if you are a person that needs a guarantee, then, you know, you have to, I guess, get a job. You know, a job is guaranteed. As long as you do what they tell you to do, they're going to give you money. Right? Like me, you know, it's not like that. You know what I mean? It's more on the, what could it be? You know, it's like a person that works off commission. You know, the commission is based off whatever work you put in. Yeah. Especially because it was Joker, right? It was Joker. You know, like, I think it was what that was a Christmas gift too. Like, you know, it came in good faith. The thing is that it came in the good faith of your suggestion. You know, and you a Lego person. So like, you know, it's not like I deboed you for the first spot either. Like, you know, I didn't tell you, no, you got to stop now, nigga. You got to do this. I said, I'll get right behind Charizard. Whenever you're done with Charizard, nigga, like, you know, it's right there, man. I'll bring it over. You handle business. And then it goes right back to the room, man. Yeah, Liam bought me a Joker mini figurine, it's actually right behind me. He stands right behind me. I want to get like a plate. I almost want to like, I might start grabbing a couple of them other ones. Yo, I heard that there's a, damn, what's the shit? It's called something. It's called like a something rip. And matter of fact, I've seen it when we've been in 2nd and Charles. And matter of fact, they got it in Walmart too. It's like the bag where it's the figure and then like something small in there. You know what I'm saying? So they've already ran through a bunch of those for Joker. You know what I mean? I think an investment like that in them figurines, you know, there's a bunch of them. You'd have to get like, I think they're like $12 each on eBay. Thank you. Zaya would have liked the Joker Legos already built as the gift. Come on. Or like me being a person that likes to live stream, right? Like if I could have, matter of fact, Pebbies, can you do it on camera, bro? Can you put it together on camera? I think you should just put it together and just let me point the live at you. And you just work at your own pace. You don't got to read chat. You just do the Legos. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll record just right in like in an area and you could just build. Yeah, Walmart has them, but they don't have the Joker ones. They have like Harry Potter. They got some other shit. They don't got Joker ones. The Joker ones already came out. There was a time when the Joker ones was flowing around. There's people that I've seen that had on eBay that have them all, you know, but it roughly comes out to like 12 a head. There's a bunch of them. Yo, donate for shots too, and we'll see how far she gets with building it. Shout out to Supreme Bugs. Man, bruh. Pebbies, what do you have so far? You got the Charizard, and then do you have any other things that you got? You don't got to say what they are, but do you have other things that are waiting to be put together? What are you talking about your skill set? I'm just trying to get my shit done. You know, is there something else Pebbies could do where she does it with shots? That'd be crazy. I think that's a good live. I guess, you know, even after you're drunk, the thing is that with Legos, you got to be careful, bro. Like if you go too far, bro, you got to break down mad pieces to get back. I think I ran into that one of the times. A Charizard and a Pokédex. Okay, well, remember I got dibs after the Charizard, bro. And if you don't, if it gets to the point where, man, I don't want to do the Charizard no more, you have to automatically move me to the front, and it has to like, you know, happen. Okay, so I'm gonna be checking in on your Charizard progress. You know what I mean? Like, because you're holding my shit up. It would be for content though. I think that's I think that's actually a good style content stream. You know, Pebby's getting a fucking set, and there being some type of drinking going on. Yeah, the Charizard is crazy. I'm saying, Pebbles, you gotta want to do it though. Like it's not like I'm over here forcing you to do it. You don't have to do a stream like that. But if you decide to, it's a good idea. You know what I mean? It's a good concept. You might listen. You might not even get nobody that donates like straight out the gate, so you'll have time. You know, maybe you should also do that. I'll tell you that though, because you know the stream is like, you know, not only the contents of the stream, but you know how much good of it can you get, right? I think it should be like a timer to where, you know, like how long do you think it would take you to do the set, you know, in like a sitting, just sitting in one spot, and then kind of like, you know, maybe dividing it to where it still allows you to get shots sent. It still allows you to get drunk, but it prevents the take 5 shots at one time. Yo, that would be a crazy one, Supreme. You know how to do Legos, though? Because if you don't know how to do Legos, you're just getting drunk. See, that's the thing. You like drinking. I couldn't do that shit. Well, I could. I just wouldn't, you know, the Legos, like, I might not pay attention to it. I might not put as much as attention into it because I know I'm drunk. But that's the thing. Like, Pebby's just doing it, but Pebby's knows how to do it. I know how to read a manual. Okay. Have you ever put any together? Yeah, I'm trying to think like what I ever did that was easy. What was the easiest? The rack that got the sneakers on it? That shit was done. That's like 2 pieces, just putting pieces down, and then, you know, I think that has a manual too. I think it's just when it's too many pieces, bro. The Lego stuff is just too many pieces, bro. You know? And sometimes, like, I'd be looking at, like, some of the ones you use, and I'd be like, bro, this is so dumb. Like, why did they make you just get this piece when they could have doubled on another piece? You know? Okay. Oh, last time you did it, you was 12? Okay. So 12 on the Legos manual, I would say that's any year of any person's life. You're going to buy at least something that has a manual. There's just some things, bro, that like, when it's like putting shit together, I can't do it, bro. I can't do it. And, you know, like, I feel like I'm too old to even front like I would. You feel me? Like, I don't know if that makes sense. I feel like I've already gotten to an age where I'm just like, my nigga, if that makes you uncomfortable, man, fuck that. Don't do it. You know, it's Legos. Like it's not like rocket science. You know? And not rocket science, but like, I mean, it's Legos. It's not like if it doesn't get done, it affects like your life. Legos is just like a pastime. You're just putting blocks together to build something up. You know, I love the concept of Legos. Like, I like the designs. I like the movies. You know, I like the concept. I'm just not a person that wants to be building something that has like a bunch of little pieces like that. I'd rather put something big together, you know, than something little, I guess, if that makes sense. And then, you know, like, here's another thing also. It's also based off of, because I think I would probably be better, but it also is based off of the person that's writing the manual, right? For some odd reason, the way they, you know, in some of the books, the way that it is, you know, it doesn't, how would I say it? Like, at least in the one that I have, there's some parts that I feel like there's another part that could be really close in what they look like. So you should like label that this is like a 2, and then there should be that on the block. But, you know, like, I guess, you know, that's not something that they think that there's a problem with, because obviously it's not like that. In that book, you know, there's certain parts where I feel like you might have been able to confuse it for a different part only because it's one piece longer, one little square longer. So I think that was another issue that I had, that I used one of the wrong ones in the wrong space. And then when I got to a space, it needed just like the little one. And I was just like, what? If I put another piece here, it's going to be something that has more than just the one. Something like that. So yeah, no building for me, man. You know, not with like pieces that small. That doesn't interest me at all. And you know, listen, I wouldn't even be able to get it done. You already know what would happen in my live stream, right? Because technically the live stream, in my opinion, should be like, you know, if the shots are timed, can you finish still consuming the same amount of shots you would have consumed in the stream regardless? You know, you're just not getting them back to back to back to back. You know, that crashes the stream way too early. It's my job to try to keep the stream going. You know, obviously the more interesting the stream, the longer it goes, the better it is. You know, and it's not like it's like cheating or anything like that. You're just figuring out how many shots does it take to like, you know, get Pebs like fucked up. And then, you know, double that maybe like, you know, to kind of make up for like time, and then set a time. No back to backs. Bang. So you get one and that shit is working in the system while you're using mental to, you know, maybe there's something rings off then. Bang, rings off. Bang. You know, if there's a shot paid for at that moment, you got to take it. If there's no shot waiting, just keep on working. Whenever the shot comes in, bang, you'll take it then, and then you'll start the clock again. What is good, bro? Pebbies. Okay? This the new content, bro, that we working on. Okay? This the new content that we working on. You know, maybe this weekend or something like that. Whatever we got for shots, you know, bust out the bottles, get in a nice little space, get comfortable, you know, and just bang. Now we just got to figure out the shots and the time. Obviously, you know, I obviously try to figure that out, you know, and, you know, hopefully have a good stream. We cooking, man. Huh? Nice little cook up right there. All right. I like the content. I think it's dope. I just know that I don't necessarily want to do it. I don't think that you'd really just be doing it to get Zaya drunk. You wouldn't be doing it because you want to see the challenge part of it. To me, the challenge part of it is Pebs, because Pebs likes to do Legos. And in all honesty, like when Pebs is doing Legos and I look at her, she looks like she knows what she's doing. You know? So a person that kind of knows what they know, Pebs knows what she knows, she knows that she knows what to do. It's just a matter of reading the pieces and putting them together. Bang, 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 bang. It's just a lot of pieces, you know? Ah, look at that. That could be something like that. And I brought mics and have it. Oh, shit. Yeah, they got like, the thing is that Pebbles, we actually have the piece for it. We got the GoPro, and there's like angles and stuff like that where it could reach over you. Bang. And it just be, maybe you have it to where, you know, it's just on your hands moving back and forth. Then when it's time for a shot, maybe it pans out a little bit. It shows you taking the shot. But that would be dope. That'd be a dope little concept. Polar pop time. All right, I'm out of here, chat. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Salutes, W's, mama, on the motherfucking W today. Okay. Oh, the vanity. Well, I'm glad you used it, Peppies. Again, you know, like that. That will never bother me, because that, you know, like if I give a present, I want the person to use it. You know what I mean? So it, you know, it worked out. So salutes. All right, JCZAYA, salute, Supreme Bugs, Katie. All right, chat, I'm going. I love y'all.